You'll see in a sec.
Already.
Hey team, how are we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches, and I've got my white van voice on after we've done a little bit of work on this microphone, so to speak. I look down here, I've already seen Dean, who shares my name. Nutsu Cow, throwing out a blue. Hope your dog is feeling better, Kaz. It took over 24 hours. I was starting to get a bit worried because they're not necessarily the vet bills that come about $1,000 standard when you're talking about a cavoodle, which in fact is still a mongrel. It's not a pedigree. But he seems to be okay at the moment, and that's making me a happy boy. I spent a lot of time with him over the last week, and he makes me happy. He really does. Guys and gals, I've got to thank you. You know, I looked on here and saw so many people waiting. It got to 30, and I said, look, I just cannot hold back. So here we are. We've got a little bit of a change in the music in the background. We've got some stellar slides on here today that will paint out chronologically for all of those people that are new to the channel. Nutsu Cow, he says with his Roman salute. Saw it in Gladiator. Doesn't make it legit. But I just want to say thank you and give you a stellar stream because you deserve it. There's all up 7 slides that we'll be looking at, but only really 6 of them have a message. So we'll go through those while we're going through your comments, your introductions. And we'd like to say welcome to In the Trenches with Kaz. I won't be speaking on the subject at the moment that is happening in the USA that is taken a hell of a big hit off a lot of channels. So we'll leave that one alone. But let's just say if you've ever studied as Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon, I think something's happening. Lauren, great to have you with us.
Oh, thank you. It's always nice to be here.
Thank you. I'm going to look at you from a different angle this time. Here we go. Hello up there. We've put the camera, we've changed it around so that you can feel like you're standing over me, metaphorically, of the instructor saying, give me 5 more. Or you can come back down to normal level. Guys and girls, g'day Luke Hutchins. As you know, my eyes are basically glued on, but I can see Alex is down there. Has anyone got the bounty there on Bailey's hat? Is he here?
I haven't seen him.
I see Daz's over there in a car park somewhere, you know, in his Hyundai. You know, we know that Brisbane has now been closed down because of one case in Queensland or whatever it is. It's starting to get a bit silly, but we'll see. SRN, your gold stocks are about to go through the roof, apparently, for those looking at things on the ASX. Have a look at SRN, gold stocks. Stickman, sounds like you need to put a bit of beef on. And we've got Master down there. What am I talking about? Lauren.
Yeah, huh?
So ask a question, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on with the introduction.
Sure. Okay. I saw a couple of questions here. Charlie Asual has asked, hey Kaz, I want to become a commando. How do you become one?
Well, mate, it's pretty easy, but pretty hard. Pretty easy to answer. And that is you've got 2 options. One, you can go for a direct entry commando, which means you have to do additionally well on your aptitude test at the U session. Then from there, you have to do well on the assessment session, especially in the psychological and medical screening. From there, they'll give additional psychological screening. And then from there, if you make it, then you will go into normal Kapooka, normal School of Infantry, because commandos are infantry. And then from there, after that, you will go into a cycle where you will be doing about another 18 months of hard yakka before you get your beret. Okay, mate? So pump the brake, you know, apply for it. I want you to succeed. But if we need to have a conversation on that, join Patreon. We'll see you there, one-on-one conversation. There you go. That's the express answer. Now, Lauren.
Yep.
I can see Robbie Kent there. You know, I can see PK, my favourite chewing gum. I see Awesome Daz there. I see Mr. P is still out of bed. The old man is not snoring. I don't mean him.
Yep.
But we have to say what tonight's about. As you can see on the screen here right now, what we've got is metaphorically Jay Hayes, West Side, not cerebral palsy, being held by North Side, Kane Higgins, as Jay goes off to combat. Metaphorically, we've got up there 11th of January, which is on Monday. Got to roll, baby. Time to muster. So what's this about? This is the feeder stream, which is going to make several smaller videos, around 3 minutes to 4 minutes in length, that will allow condensed versions of topics to be covered, which allows you to find yourselves and each other in comments to give you the best chance of understanding that you're not going to this alone. You are part of a herd. Quickly, bam, you're part of the herd. So what this is about, this is not the actual call to action stream. This is going to explain things to you. Hey, Liam O'Brien, windscreens O'Brien. I didn't smash the screen, but I do love playing cricket. Thank you. Not suit cow and Kraken from Hillary Clinton under your bed. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you. Anyone else? Join, become a member, be here, help us to help you, right? So while we're talking about this, guys, you're part of a herd. We've got multiple slides. I'm going to quickly go through these through you now. If you need to get away, get to the Gym, which is also called to the gym for those that go there. Don't go to a Turkish gym. It means something completely different. And this is the way the slides are going to look in chronological order today as we go through them. Bam. Your new name. PM keys number. Second slide. We're not your friend. Referring to instructors. Next one. You're a herd animal. We get that by now. Bam. Don't be a section. Be a franchise. We'll cover that. Next. El otro, as they say in Spain. Never be last unless you're the 2IC, and that'll be explained. Followed by, bam. Things may seem daunting to you at the moment. They may. Eat the elephant, real ivory, right there, bam. The elephant in the room. Eat it one bite at a time. We'll cover that. And last of all, the only way to lose, to fall out, outside medical, outside Jerry Springer, okay, you are the father. All you can do is stuff yourself up by quitting. So tonight we're going to finish off with, don't quit. So, quickly, Drunk Aussie is giving up some of his money. He's had enough to drink.
Yeah, he's got to take Mrs. out for I think they're going for a date night.
Righto. If not, Kane can take her out and you can stay here.
No, don't do that to her.
Not suit cow for the Asian donation. And mate, make sure that you take it to the best Chinese that you can take it to, and ask for the double MSG because they've got it out the back if you ask. Thank you, mate. Guys and gals, we're going to start with a few questions, then we're going to head into the topics because that's what you're here for, yeah? But rest assured, like we said, tomorrow a video will come out which will be about the muster, which allows all those that are going in January. We're going to call them 11 platoon for now because that was a platoon that I joined when I enlisted in Kapooka. And then what it's going to also do is allow you by month to be able to find each other in comments. That'll be updated. There'll be a book supplied so that we can say this is who you are, this is where you are, this is going with you. You are part of the herd. So enjoy. Grab a drink. Wander away. Come back. But do make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're a member so that you actually go green in chat. It's easier to see your name. Maybe that's a myth. And hang around and ask relevant questions. But please make sure you subscribe. It'd be a felony and you don't want vanilla ice in your house if you don't. So we've got Alex there. 449. It almost sounds like a caliber of a weapon, doesn't it? But it's not, because that'd be 5.56. Okay, or 7.62, etc. Thank you, mate, for the dancing freak there as well. Cheers, mate. Lauren, can we get hit with about 5 questions before we go into the first slide, please?
Yep, absolutely. There is some. Let me just roll back up. Joel B has asked, hey Kaz, do you have any advice on joining with previous mental health issues that have since been taken care of?
Wow, that's a really relevant one. Clarence Waterfall. Thank you very much for the super chat dono there, mate. We take care of them as we go rather than come back to them like a lot of streamers. Not Sue Cow. You didn't deserve that. I'm talking about my hand, that is. Thank you very much, mate. You just got some food that wasn't off that I'm going to give my puppy. As a matter of fact, like I said to Lauren, I'm looking at the donations here, not necessarily going to the channel anymore, but actually setting my daughter up in her first electric car when she turns a certain age, or going towards her university degree, students, you know, her life, etc. So thank you very much.
That's great.
Mental health is a tough one. If it is actually on your records, it's very hard to move forward. And sometimes doctors will step in too quickly to diagnose, to give medication, and then cut paths or put up walls in front of people when they later go to try to be the best version of them in the civilian government or private industry. So that one's going to be a case by case, mate.
Yeah, I think you should still try, but you also have to understand that it might even show that you have a propensity that could be aggravated by serving.
Yeah.
So even if it's cleared up now, it might not be in your best interest too. So I think you should try until they say no, just like we always say. But be prepared, you will have to answer about it. You may even have to be evaluated.
Consider it an asterisk that'll be beside your name that glows.
Exactly.
And they're going to look at that and go, whoa. Because remember, the biggest reason why people actually leave the military now is based on mental health reasons caused by exposure to another world that most people don't realise exists outside air conditioning, comfort zones, first world countries. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, do you want another question?
Please.
Guy Smith has said, hey Kaz, was wondering how I go about mild shin splints a few months before enlistment.
That's a real tough one because mild becomes massive problems with exposure. And you're about to wear boots that are also going to be on hard surfaces, arduous conditions, prolonged periods of time where you don't get to call time out. And as soon as you start limping, hobbled, maimed, not maimed, what do they call it? Lame.
Yep.
Then you're still going to start to get the attention. Right? And once that happens, out of your professional, ambitious nature, what can happen is you can try to push through the injury until it actually gets to the stage where it's chronic. And you can end up with some horrible scars, operations, and still termination. So you need to make sure you're very honest about that and be careful. Because you also don't want to be a cripple, mate. You really don't.
Exactly. You do not want to hurt yourself.
And once it gets actually diagnosed by a doctor, then it's real. Okay? It could even be compartment syndrome. Yep.
Yeah, and that's not good.
No.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Ready. Listo.
Okay, Jetty Boy has said, G'day Kaz, my enlistment day is the 8th of March for infantry. I've been working hard, mate, and he can't wait to get into it. Not really a question, but...
Happy 2021. And I love a good jetty. Not enough of them around. And when there is in Sydney, I think it's $2,000 fine to jump off the jetty in Manly. And you go, it's the poor man's diving board. What are you talking about? A couple of people break their neck. Big deal. The rest learn. Good luck, mate. Stay with us. Subscribe.
Yep.
Looking forward to getting you. And then hearing about when you get your Skippy badge, mate.
Okay, Lateral has asked, how many enlistment dates a year are there? I'm not sure if this question even makes sense. It makes sense, I think.
It does make sense. At least normally about 3 a month, mate. You know, so what's going to occur is you're going to see people saying on this chat right now, I'm going on the 11th. I'm going in on the 12th. They're the same people going to the same platoon. But because they've come from all over Australia to come to the same area, because we've got the one recruit training facility, what's going to happen? Hey, SRN, thank you very much there, mate. Triple not too cow to you. And he's excited now because he realises he's a stock. PK, say good day to AK. Thanks for doing the stream tonight, Kaz. Well done. Well, I didn't put it up last night. I owe yous. And for those stuck in Brisbane that are 3 days shut down, this one's for you, B-Bear, Dave. Not too cow, PK. You're always here, mate. And I'm going to put on the voice for you so you can eat the whole goddamn bag. Yeah, what were we talking about?
Okay. I don't know. You just answered the question.
Someone else is throwing funds at us. Sesterces, so to speak, we'll call them from now on. I can't even read that. Can you please read that for me?
With the yellow cow.
Yes.
Katerina has said, have my PFA on Friday. Couldn't have done it without you, Kaz. That's really great to hear, Katerina. That's what we like, isn't it?
Katerina, that's fantastic. Throw the scores at us. What did you get? Not too cow. I know we've spoken and I am stoked for you because now you cannot fail. Outside, you are the father, which you can't be you, or something with a family, or an injury that happens, and we're not going to know that in advance, are we? So, mate, that's you in a uniform with a hat badge this year. Excellent. Katarina. It's a really weird feeling when you get donations off ladies. It is.
Why?
Because I'm a gentleman. I pay for every single thing I go to. You know.
But it's not just for you, is it? It's for...
No, well, it goes to my daughter actually now.
But like that? Think of it like that.
Yeah.
You know, why shouldn't your daughter get money off ladies? Good reason.
Yeah. And you know what? I wouldn't turn it around. I don't do it because I'm a gentleman. It just feels nice.
Shut up and take our money.
By the way, if I ask you for coffee or I take you to dinner and you're a bloke, I pay for you as well. Because if I ask you, I don't know what your monetary situation is, so I pick up the tab. Yep.
That's just manners.
Well, that means if I pick you up, then you better make sure you go, oh, let's just go somewhere easy. Yeah, the lobster rolls, please. And I'll be, oh, what? Yeah.
Okay, do you want another question?
I can see, does that say Skippy 343?
Yep, Skippy 343.
What a cool name.
I'm just trying to see if he made a comment before that. What he's asking Dave what boots he wears. They're talking about boots.
I don't even know the name of the boots that I put on. I know they're comfortable. I know they're almost wafer thin. I feel like I've got a taco on the bottom of my foot, and I'm talking about just the tortilla. Right, so let's get on with the first slide, shall we?
Okay, sure.
Okay, take into account, like you see on there, 11th of January, tomorrow a video is going to come out. What we're asking you to do is to put into comments below. Okay, we're going to ask you to put in your month that you're going in, your enlistment date. Don't crowd it if you don't have a date.
And that's the comments after the stream's uploaded, right?
Correct. You know, not in this here.
Yeah,
I'm going to make a special video just for that. Sorry?
They can say it in here, but as long as they put it in the comments as well.
Absolutely. Because by letting you know that you are part of the metaphorical herd, then if people around you are doubters, if they don't understand the action that you've put in, the invisible energy, dedication to the calling, following the path of the Anzacs to your future, which is going to become the basement of success in everything you do, the fallback textbook, the game playbook, that people are going to go, how do you know that? And you go through life experience, man, but I'm drinking red cordial straight. What I'm going to do is receive information at a speed I cannot take it in while being surrounded by like-minded people for a task that may or may not be achievable. And I'm all about capability rather than my face. And I don't ever go anywhere alone. I go not only as a team, a herd, but I have my actual family name on my chest to remind me that's not mine. I've got to live up to it. And if your name is shit, then you need to make it glow golden. And then you take it into the next generation with pride, with what you do next in this uncharted territory that we call life, that so many people wrap themselves in air conditioning, can't get away from. And when asked what's the most exciting thing you've done in your life, they've said swiped right or swiped left. Not so much. What would you call it? Don't let misadventure determine who you are. Let it be a logical choice where you give back to not only the nation, but you give back to yourself and you build a legacy. So one day when someone says, who are you, you actually know who you are. I don't really know who I am, but...
Does any?
So the first slide, the first thing we need to come out with. Bam. A very important one. Brad Pitt, Fury, Achilles in other movies. Your new name, 825 444 1. When you go into the military, you are no longer a name, although it is on your chest. It will be prefixed with royal, with recruit, or with private, or with corporal, or with sergeant, whatever. Your first name, you won't even know your friends' first names a lot of the time, and then it looks like you're full of shit when you introduce each other to other people at nightclubs, etc., or social events where they think you're vouching for this guy and you don't even know his name. Well, you don't want to hear his nickname. Anyway, so your number becomes your name. You'll get a PM Keys number, and that will come to you, and you have to memorize that quick, because they're going to be asking you all the time. When in doubt, you're not allowed to write things on your hand in the military to remember, unless you're out in the field environment, and then you can do grids, all that sort of shit. 9-liners, so to be. Hey, Lightfoot, how you going? So remember your new name. And what I'm going to ask you to do in a call to action, and Lauren knows about this one as much as I do, you need to change your names that you have here, your real name, and turn it into an alias. It sounds awesome. And that goes with you wherever you go on your social media, so the military cannot creep into it, and make sure that you are not representing yourself in a way that represents Army, that gets you in the shit, or in fact gets narked on and gets prejudicial behaviour or even discharged based on administrational grounds.
Yeah, however, you have to be careful even under an alias, because they've changed the rules, and even if you're under an alias and say something they don't like, you could still be in trouble. So still be careful what you put on social media and on forums and things like that. Just look after yourself and your career.
And if I was going to give you an opinion on that, I would tell you it sucks donkey's uncircumcised dick.
Yeah,
because you are representing the country. You're not being a politician. You are not speaking on behalf of Army. You're speaking on behalf of the watchdog who goes out into the rain, and does his job. You should be allowed to be proud. You should be allowed to wear a uniform, and you are. When you go to Brisbane, Townsville, etc., you'll be wearing a uniform when you go out into the shopping centres.
Yeah, exactly. But, however, it's just another duty you have to fulfil.
Yep. Whereas England, America, they can make their own YouTube channels while they're serving. You can't do it. You cannot do it, team, while you're in the Army.
Been a bit different, haven't we?
Yeah.
Let me know if you're ready to go back to the questions, because
Okay.
I have queued up.
So, change your name. You're a number. Okay, go. Please.
Oh, back to me? Okay. First, someone asked, and we must have got sidetracked off on a tangent. They were asking how many enlistment days a year?
So about 3 a month.
That was lateral. Yeah, okay. There you go.
Lateral. Lateral movement, lateral transfer. UK to Australia, we pay for everything.
Yeah. Okay, and Flying Food 73 has said, "Hi Kaz, my parents heavily disapprove of my idea to join infantry after my degree. I understand family support is very important when enlisting. Any ideas how to deal or overcome this issue?"
Well, there's a couple of reasons why. It could be because it doesn't gel with the hard work and the money that you've just spent on a university degree. It could be that they don't believe you're going to be committed enough. It could be that they have nothing to do with the military and don't understand that we're in the best small army in the world, the highest paid army in the world. We have the best affairs. We're in peacetime at the moment, and that infantry is the spear point and the rest are there to support that said spear point. You were in no more danger there necessarily. Well, we don't understand, do we? We're in uncharted territory. We don't know what's coming next. But what we can say is if you've got to have a conversation with the parents, and they've got to understand too that you have a life as well, that you can't stay in mum and dad's shadow. Otherwise, it's almost like you're cuckold to your parents, and that's not what you want. Have the conversation with them. Explain why.
Yeah, it is your life. At the end of the day, you are the only person who has to live it. And if they love you, they will support you anyway.
Yep.
And maybe when they see your commitment and you going ahead and doing everything you need to do this, they will look at you with pride. They are just probably worried about, your risk of injury and death.
Yeah, and that's because they love you.
Exactly.
I know other parents that are saying to their kid, hurry up, sign up, get out. Ed B in Chantel, their son, Ed B 4, he leaves on Monday too, 11 platoon. Hallway 11! He'll be with you. But he'll be doing that in the USA, and he'll be doing that, in 11 Bravo, which is Infantry USA. When I look up at that one, I get scared of heights. Hero Troy. Cheers, Dave. Dave's doing a stellar job up there. Draco, is it? Sweet child of mine.
Yeah, there was Darake or whatever it is was saying he wanted to be a pilot.
Awesome.
And I said, how are your school grades? And he said pretty meh. So I think he's either going to need to buck up in school, redo it, or choose maybe something different, because you're going to have to really be in a top percentage to be able to. That's a much coveted role.
Yep.
And it does require very, very good grades.
Really good, and for a good reason, because people don't necessarily. And you know what? I understand if you really want to fly helicopters or you really want to fly planes, you don't have to be the brightest spark to be able to do it. You can teach yourself how to do it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but other people aren't going to trust you with a $30 million vehicle with people in the back. You know, when they've already got people that on paper who are a little bit weird, you know, can pass before you. So really dedicate and treat schooling like it's a mission, because in fact the results are part of what the military is looking for in their soldiers.
And it's a very, very competitive role also. And I believe that they're in the ADF, their pipes are in some of the top, like HSC percentages and that. So you're going to have to really buckle down and do it, or look for a different career that you might enjoy just as much.
Coffee van.
Some of us just have pipe dreams and we'd love to be this and we'd love to be that. But in reality, it may actually never happen for us.
Yep.
So be realistic.
I wanted to be a hooker for movie starlets. Never got a call.
It's not going to happen.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Pepsi and Doritos. I love Doritos. Pepsi, the arch evil.
Yeah, and he said his grades are high for New South Wales, but it's not just people from New South Wales going for those roles.
It's federal.
Competing with everybody in Australia. So you've got to work really hard. So it'd be interesting to know how old you are and how much schooling you've got left to go. Because we'd love it if you did it. That'd be ace.
Absolutely. You know, and we've got a submariner who goes below the water. Now we need someone that goes above it. Yep. Awesome. Yep. Let us know how it goes. Don't give up. Find out what you need. Push on. Get those results. Yep. Get the role and decide whether you want to fly planes, jets, or whether you want to fly helicopters, airframes, because that might make a massive difference in your eligibility as well.
Yep. Here's a comment from John Boyd. Hey Kaz, I discharged in 2001. We served in 2-4 together before going elsewhere. In your opinion, what has changed dramatically since 2001, mate? And what are the positive and negative changes?
I think equipment and technology since 2001 is way better. I think our ability to get medical overwatch of missions is definitely better with the 9-liners. I think the equipment now is second to none, and it's moving at a hectic pace. I think the level of fitness of a lot of soldiers that are coming in, where we used to be just tough and push through it, now they're scientifically tough, and a lot of them aren't into the drinking and the partying. They're treating it very, very professionally. One of the sad things about now is the Skippy badge is not earned as much as what it was when we were. There's a little bit of participation happening depending on what gender is occurring, and I've seen that firsthand. And there's a lot more politics that didn't exist then. I think the leadership is dead in its tracks in the military. They're so nervous to step out of line that in actual fact they present no leadership. I think the leadership is now at the OR level where people are speaking up, but unfortunately that also causes a morale drought. And I'd say it's same but different, because from the grand scheme you can look at the quotas, you can look at the politics, you can look at the some things as negative, but we all know that when you get through Singleton, the School of Infantry, you get to a battalion, maybe the 2nd Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, the 2nd to none battalion, then there's no safety net. You know, so it's going to be the same for the soldiers on the ground. The right people get through, but what I don't want to see is good people that get spun a lie, a fairy tale, a cosmetic version of what their job entails. Could be makeup, hair in a bun, happy smiles, no mud on faces, no blood on hands.
Yep.
You know, they're not telling them that, and that's what scares me.
Okay, I have another question if you want it.
We'll do one more slide, then we'll move in there if we can.
Yep, all right, I'll just bookmark them.
Cheers. Okay, we're not your friend. When I say that, I'm not talking about me. And I'm not talking about the people in chat. What I'm talking about is when you get to the school of recruit training, when you get to Kapooka, when you get to boot camp, recruit training, You know, what's going to occur is you're going to have some people that try to make alliances, vampire familiars with the instructors. Their job is to be elusive, to be standoffish, to not make that bond with you. Don't get too close to the puppy you're going to sell so early. So don't be a fake. Don't be a pole smoker, as they call it. Do your job. Let them watch you from afar. Make sure that you have photos of family, friends, dog, etc. And the things that you love that can go on your communal board that reminds you that everything's going to be okay. They will go in there, they'll look at that, and they'll slowly get to know you. And eventually they will come to you. And then they will ask a question. But why would they make a friend with someone who's possibly a natural born quitter, in case you haven't seen the Tarantino movie? You know, they want to wait until you get to a certain week before they come down and give you a little bit of a reward, which might be a little bit of affection. It might be a question. It might be some of their time. So don't make the mistake. These guys are not your friend. They are the enemy. Your friends are the herd. Okay? The people around you. Not the ones you choose to be with because you met them at recruiting, because you met them on the bus. It's the people that are in your room. We're going to speak about that in a minute. The instructors are not your friends. Pass, fail, retrain, back squad, or pass again. That's what their role is to do. And they're going to do course after course after course after course. Okay. So just go with it and let them come to you. That's what I'll say on that one. So, Lauren.
Yes. Ready?
Yes, please.
Yes, I was trying to sound like I actually was paying attention. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That you were making, actually. Okay, Pepsi and Doritos, you may not want to answer the question, has asked, I'm interested in reserves MP officer. Any thoughts?
I'd say don't do it. There is no reason to do it. Are you a cop in your normal job? You don't go to MPs to do something that is the same as what you do in Civilian Street. There is no real roles that you're going to do as a civilian, Army Reserve MP that are the cool roles. You're not going to go there and be a dog handler part-time. You're not going to get to go there and do close protection part-time. You're not going to get to go there and do close point protection, or look after prisoners as an Army Reservist. So you're going to get all the shit roles that would come with being a regular MP, but with none of the rewards of being a regular MP. So I wouldn't say to do that. It also won't necessarily help you get into the police force. And don't confuse an MP with a cop. They're not the same thing.
Yeah, and maybe if you're not a police officer already, maybe question your motive about why you want to do that particular role.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool roles in Army Reserve. Do you know what my number one pick is for Army Reserve for anyone? Cav Scout. Go and be in the cavalry corps, but as one of their crewmen, one of their scouts, because then you get a first class ride, you get to suck in as much diesel as what you can. You're going to be in a vehicle that you'd never be in if you were a civilian. You're not going to be walking anywhere. And when you do, it's going to be to clear a default drill. You have the benefits of being pseudo-infantry, being around weapons, at the same time being around the armoured vehicles and the team that's attached to that. Cav Scout, that's my number one. Yep.
Right, very good. Here's one from Anthony Youngson.
Hey, Anthony.
Said, should I really be worried about eating really healthy when training when you don't eat overly healthy with MREs?
Look, I ate a piece of celery, I think, in the early 90s. If I eat something green, it's because it's been snuck onto a pizza. Dietary needs have never been my thing. And I'm going to tell you something here. You won't get special food. You're not taking protein. You're not going to get any of your dietary crap, looked after when you go out in a field environment or in an operational environment. It's almost like you start dying as soon as you get over there, as you start to wither away into basically what we'd call fight weight, going for the UFC. I wouldn't worry about it too much, mate. I survived on cheese, salami, and whatever was in a ration pack that I did eat. And that was normally tortellini, or beef and artery.
But maybe offset it by making sure you do eat, you don't have to be a total health freak, but do eat as well as you can. When you're not on MREs, I would suggest, give your system a good balance.
And you won't be on MREs in Australia anyway.
No, exactly. Okay, Dave Rico, who is a member, said, is it fair to say earn your position, Kaz? Is that what you meant by that last?
Absolutely. And take your time getting to that position. And what I'd say with that, which is a really great point, thank you very much, mate, is pump the brake as you go into, and what happens is with time, longevity, doors open, positions open, but you're still required to get those positions on the ground so that we understand you've mastered something before you can move on. The reason why you were called a lid, which can come across as a detrimental or what some could be offended by as they go into the military, you're going to be that for a year. And that's, in actual fact, not an insult. It's a reward, because what it means is the stuff-ups you make in the first year will determine whether you are low, medium, or high in the pack. So that's where you make your most impact, by finishing everything you start, by never being last, by not back answering, by understanding that the year that you do in the battalion, not in training, is your apprenticeship. And you'll take over people, quick sticks, and you'll be laughing. So you earn everything. You earn carrying the gun by saying, I want to carry the gun, but then complete an activity with the gun and being able to employ it as a capability. You earn everything. You ask and you will receive, but be careful what you ask for. Yeah.
Okay, JP's here.
Hey, JP. We've got a sniper in the chat.
Throw all your sniper questions at JP.
Hope your new shirt fits you.
It does. It looks great. He loves it.
Is that him on the screen? Is it Jay Hayes on the screen with Kane giving him the behind hug? Or is that JP like going outfield and you hugging him from behind?
Yeah, of course. I give him a love. Yeah, it looks like Merida from Brave, doesn't she?
I think it does.
Okay, Legion 117.
I love that name already.
Yeah, has said, hey Kaz, been going through the process of joining enlisting. One thing I'm worried about is my criminal history. When I was younger, 18 to 19 convictions. Oh, does he mean 18 or 19?
Okay.
In each convictions recorded. I'm now 27. Now, should I be worried?
I'd be worried. And I don't know what your background is, mate. And clearly you were allowed to fall between your parents' fingers, so to speak. And we're not going to go too personal with that. And I apologise on behalf of society that some people don't get a chance to fly while you're given too much rope at an early age to make mistakes that can be irreversible. But in saying that...
Oh, age. He meant his age, not
okay.
18 convictions. Yeah.
So...
in saying that, yes, do try, because people can. But be prepared to answer for it and show how you've grown and changed.
And they might say, come back in 2 years, when it becomes 10 years without a conviction, so to speak.
And just use your time well.
It's a good name.
Yeah, it is. And I say go for it, keep trying, and, don't stop until they say no, but do be honest about it, do be prepared to answer it.
Everything you sign in the assessment session, use session, etc., is a legal document. So just remember that, team. It's not a confession session. We've had a number of people that have lost their roles within military because they thought, oh, maybe I should tell them this, maybe they spoke too much. But if you know it's something that they can look up and find straight away, you need to express answer that.
Yeah. There's an interesting comment. I'm not sure I understand it. It's from someone called Nico, and he said, I've achieved the goal of infantry soldier and fast jet pilot. There are many avenues to achieve your goals. I'm more than happy to offer advice outside of Army NCO entry, which Kaz has covered. Well, I would just say we'd want some proof first, because sometimes, Nico, no offence, we get people in here who, aren't exactly who they claim they are. And also we say to the kids in the chat, take advice from the people who you know are solid and the people who you know are who they say they are. We don't want to just the kids listening to anyone. There is a lot of veterans in here, and we've got representatives from everywhere, right? All over. We've got
Look,
Navy,
absolutely.
Army,
And we've got to remember too that when we do these live streams, team, it is an absolute privilege for me to see your comments coming on here. But what you may not see is the other 1,000 people that watch this after the stream is not live anymore. And we get messages from America, we get messages from the UK, we get them from Germany, and all these other countries that look almost exactly the same in their combat ensemble. So we do need to make sure that what we write is not something that's going to go with us later. But if that's the case, Nico, well done, mate. Maybe it's just sentence structure, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because what's a fast jet?
Well, fast air, that normally means a fighter jet, a fighter aircraft
All right. Well,
platform.
We would certainly need to check that you were who you said you were before we tell people to take your advice.
Danger zone.
Exactly.
Can you play volleyball with the shirt off with dog tags on?
Well, if it's true, I'm sure he does all the time. But because we actually we have had experiences of legitimate stolen valor in here and things like that. So, I'm sure if you are the real deal, you will excuse us for being skeptical. If
you have imposters in your chat, that's imposters. If you have a single imposter chat, is that imposti? It sounds very Roman, doesn't it?
Yes, it sounds much better. Yeah, it sounds much better. Okay. Lateral has asked another question. Is infantry a highly sought after role? Yes, at the moment it is.
Look, it is always pretty much the number one role. Make sure you press like if you can, team, so we can get up there. We've got a channel, a video that came out a couple of days ago. It's doing pretty well, and that's more because of people's reaction with like buttons, so to speak. Infantry is the tip of the spear. Now, the reason why I say this, and it's not the be-all, end-all, different things for different folks, and I appreciate everyone that supports me while I was doing my job, career, calling. But when you say to someone that knows nothing about the army, explain a soldier for me, there's 3 things they're going to explain. Maybe 5. They're going to talk about the guy that walks a lot, who's the foot soldier. That's infantry. They're going to talk about the guy with the bow, okay, or the guy behind everyone who's fighting, and that's artillery. And they're going to talk about the guy that's on the horse, that normally translate as armoured. They're the 3 people. Artillery, archers, cavalry, armoured corps, and the foot soldier, infantry. It's the paper, scissors, rock of the battlefield. They'll also talk about truck drivers, and they'll also talk about cooks. And that's it. That's all they talk about, other than special forces. They don't realise there's intelligence corps. They don't realise, they actually laugh at that. They don't realise there's signal corps. Okay, they don't understand the logistic fuel specialists that can get some amazing tickets for bulk fuel, has chem handling. There's amazing roles within the army. But what I always almost recommend, if you have the aptitude and the acumen to do so, is to start in infantry or cavalry. And then from there, once you've been at the spear point, because they share it together, then go back into the logistic and support roles and get qualifications. More qualifications are going to match your leadership that you get as a front role guy, and then take that into the civilian world. Because at the 10-year mark, you've got some real big decisions to make. Am I going to stay here forever? Or am I going to get out and I'm going to use everything I've got now to make me the best version of me within the civilian industry? And I tell you what, they love you. They do.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you want some... Okay, Hero of Troy. Good and bad news.
You've killed Achilles.
Ended up getting a 73.7 ATAR when I needed a 75 for ADFA. So can't go to ADFA, but still going through a different path.
Okay, and that comes back to, did you try your hardest, or did you look at the girl? I wish that I had Jesse's girl in the front row, and you failed in the memory game and didn't get... I don't know what an ATAR is. Most of the people in this chat don't. I've known of Atari. That was the first computer game console.
Yeah, that's great. Used to love Pong.
I actually don't know, and I'm not trying to be ignorant, what an ATAR is. We had the HSC score, and that was it. Mate, but, this might be a door closing on you that actually, in fact, opens another door, the hero of Troy, and allows you to be the best version of you in another capacity, mate. So, listen.
Yeah, exactly. Keep going. Glad to hear you're not giving up. Do you want one more?
Yes, please.
Okay. Draco has said,
Good name.
When I'm 14, 15, I had a few troubles with the law due to immaturity. Never got charged, got let off with a warning 3 times. I'm now 18. Should I just keep quiet about it?
If you've actually had convictions and it was under 18, then they'll be classed as delinquent adolescent crimes, and they may waive those completely. Or they might talk about a period where they need you to show that you can keep out of the shit, so to speak, but never actually hide any criminal activity that is recorded. Otherwise, that becomes another offence. So, yeah, I'm not actually sure on that one, mate. Delegate, there you go, mate. ATARI. That's a tough one. We make mistakes when we're young, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you got caught for something that many other people have done before, and that becomes a metaphoric iron ball around our ankle, doesn't it? Yeah. Let us know how it goes, bud. Because it also depends on what the crime was.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
But if you just got warnings, I imagine it's okay. I would probably, if it was just warnings, I would probably not mention it unless they do.
It's true. Brady, another spanner. Would you like to vote, team, on who you think? Because we've lost a few that actually asked, hey, look, I'd rather be in chat and just communicate.
Yep.
Can I get my spanner taken off me? And they actually asked very nicely. I was like, oh, okay, they look good in it. So let's consider who is going to be another. Let us know if you want to be a spanner. Lauren knows who
I know who I would pick.
You know who you'd pick?
Yeah.
Who?
I'd pick Jay.
You'd pick who?
I'd pick Jay.
Jay. Does he want it?
I don't know.
Jay. West Side. Boyfriend of North Side. Oh, he's going to arc up at that, isn't he?
Delhi. Yeah.
Do you want it? If you want it, we'll do it right now. Do you want it, Jay? Let us know. It's yours if you want it, mate, because I think that's a pretty good captain's call by Lauren. This is not an Army One here team. We've got a lot of people that help you in the chat, that you can ask questions to, that loom over, and also make sure this is not a safe space, but they do make sure that no one is coming in here chicken hawking, being a dick. So, Jay, let's get some thumbs up. Let's give some thumbs up. You can be a quiet one too. Jay, if you want to be that, let's leave it to the chat. Let's see some hands of colour in chat, and remember this moment. Does Jay become promoted and in fact become the negotiator? Does he become one of the directors? Moderator?
Jay, you can't go crazy on the Muppets. You just got to time them out and give them a chance.
Yeah, don't go crazy on them.
Yeah. Oh no, JP isn't here enough. I reckon he wouldn't want it.
Okay.
JP likes to be cynical in the chat.
So let's have a look at a couple of slides. We started with, okay, you're going to need to change your name. So you don't get picked up on the military radar. Let's get rid of that. We've talked about the instructors are not there to be your friend. They're there to get you trained. They're there to get you a hat badge, the Rising Sun, the prestigious hat badge of the Australian soldier. Then you need to remember that you're part of the herd. You're not there alone. You need to have someone six. They need to have yours. You need to be more than ready to go into the role, understanding the work you don't put in now becomes harder for you, harder for them later. You're part of the herd. You're a herd animal. We don't do things alone. Let's move on to the next slide, shall we? El otro, as they'd say in Spanish. How are we going with the hands? After this slide, we're going to make a decision. G'day, Ruben. Good to have you here.
Spanner. Why can't you change the colours of the spanners?
I don't know. I've never thought. Maybe you can. What colour do you want? I'm not going to have a pink spanner.
We just want Jay to have a pink spanner.
I'll give him a rusty one. Bam. Here we are. This is one of the most important slides of all. Okay. Don't be a section. Be a franchise. Lauren, I'm going to quickly explain this one because this is going to actually be a video within itself. So I'm going to turn this off for a sec. This is going to become a video of itself. Okay, team? So let's move into this one. Here we are. So team, here we have a slide that is extremely important for you to understand. And this is why you come to In the Trenches with Kaz. What do I do different? What's above the line? What is the research you cannot find on Google? Where do I give you the opportunity through wisdom and time in the trenches and regrets that I wish I had this when I was younger? And that's a simple slide that's going to say it all. Bam. You'd have seen this slide from Band of Brothers. What does it say? Don't be a section, be a franchise. What do I mean? If you turn up to Kapooka as an individual, okay, you can be cut off as individuals, you can fail as an individual, you can feel like the mountain is too high to climb and never get past base camp. If you rock up there as a section and you show leadership, remembering that the instructors are not your friend, they're instructors. These are your family. A collection of numbers, of people, diversity, real diversity, that are there to get each other through as an accumulative, as a collective. The section you're in, we'll call it 11 Platoon, Bravo Company, 1 section at Kapooka. I don't give a shit who you met on the bus. I don't give a shit about who you are friends with, who you've bonded with on this channel. This is the section that you are with. What you need to do is go in there on the first day, the first opportunity. What you need to do is grab everyone and say, come into my room. They don't know you, so there's more chance they will listen to you. You can't grab the reins later once the horse is bolted. You get everyone, you move into one room. There should be 4 people in each room. Okay, you grab everyone that's part of 1 section, Bravo Company, 11 Platoon. And you sit them in there and go, I was part of a fraternity which was in the trenches with Kaz and Lauren and the moderators. And this is a bit of advice they gave us, and I believe it's golden. We need to treat this like it's a football team. We need to use tribal community to get through everything. Every single one of us is going to get through here if we promise. 1, we never quit. 2, we always have someone else's back. If you fail, it's because we've all failed you. Every day, there will be a section commander. We'll call him Corporal Pye for now. But what we're secretly going to do is we're going to rotate between us. Every day, there'll be someone known as a 2IC, the second in charge of the section. The mother. The mother of the section, they'll always be the last one out of the building, making sure that every one of us is there, that we meet our timings, that we all look the same. That regardless if someone has a shit personality and unlovable by the team, until the day the instructors say you are plucked from the crowd, you are back squatted, you are no longer part of 1 section, Bravo Company, 11 Platoon. So what occurs is, every day we have a meeting and we discuss, how do we go today? What could we fix? What could we do differently? Are we good to go? Who needs help? You do not go to sleep. You do not disengage until you know your entire team is successful. And what you also do is make a name for that team. If you make a name for your section, you can, whatever you decide, it's up to you. You will remember it forever. Just like you remember your section forever. Just like you remember your section commander forever. You will not fail. You will not fail, because the only way to fail Kapooka is to quit. And no one quits when they're part of a team that makes them welcome, part of the family, picks up their slack, and understand what I find troublesome might be something that you are an apex warrior in. It might be something that you have trouble with that I have no problems with. As long as there's no laziness, no jackness, then you are golden. Don't be a section, be a franchise, give it a name, give it teeth, and forgive each other as you build each other up. So the section commander never has to ask, how can I help? Because you've already got each other's back. And that is how you get through not only Kapooka, but that will carry on to School of Infantry, that will carry on to battalions, that will carry on to your leadership style, that you always look after everyone before yourself. And if everyone does that, you can't fail. You can't. Questions? Do you agree? Lauren?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh.
I was just actually thinking about what you said, but it's true. You know, because if you teamwork is something that people who aren't used to doing it, they can learn how to do it. It is a skill that you can learn, but it is really, really important.
Well, normally, the worse someone is in life, the mistakes they make in life is normally because they've been let down by either their own family, by their friends, by those that call them brother, but lead them into vice, into problematic situations they can't come out of. This is not that team. Yep, this is the team that's going to get you through. They're going to help you, but that has to be where your loyalty is as well.
Yep, exactly. Yep, that's true. Yep, like Masterful Rain said, teamwork makes the dream work. It's true. And look, in my experience, even in life, lone wolves don't tend to thrive, to be honest. We are gregarious creatures by nature anyway, and like the ants, we can do amazing things when we all work towards a common goal.
It's absolutely true. And so many people go to the military because they're looking for that brotherhood. So if they actually get with their rough sides, they get to Kapooka, and what they meet is, again, a confirmation that they are not part of a family, they're not part of a team, they're in a section, and there'll always be the section at Kapooka, and they will fail, and people will get back squatted, But they are people that come there to be part of a brotherhood. The same sort of people go to become a motorcycle gang. The same people go to a sports team. The same people go to fill in the blank. So you need to make them realise they came to the right area, and despite the fact they've got an abrasive personality, they have strengths and weaknesses that we can capitalise and turn into capabilities that take us on. We don't leave a brother behind. And when I say brother, I mean, that means sister as well.
Yeah, that's inclusive.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some questions?
I'm ready, Listo. Send those preguntas to us.
Okay, Jack Findlay has said, I can finalise my enlistment on January the 30th. And I was just curious. I've been training really hard the last 9 months, and I'm shooting to get into 2 RAR.
Excellent.
If I don't get in, which would be a good second preference?
1 RAR. Made it real easy for you because you can still eat Cactus Jacks. You're in the only area in town, Australia, the AU, that has 3 battalions that compete against each other, that has pooled resources that not just compete against each other, but you can piggyback off each other's op cells. And 1 RAR is a fine battalion. It's the 1st battalion. It has no slight on you if you don't make it to the 2nd battalion amphibious group.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the big blue one, is there?
Oh, well, that's what she said.
Oh, gosh, you know what I'm talking about. Moving right along.
Go.
Kyle Duffy has asked how many recruits in a section.
This is what's weird. The Australian section, because remember, Kapooka is based off an infantry platoon, despite the fact it's double the size nearly. But you will normally have about 12 people, 3 rooms, okay, which will have 4 people in each room. And the reason for that is they're expecting about 3 to 4 back squads per section. Yep. We've heard of platoons that have had 20 that have been back squatted, and almost all of them were from quitting. And that is a felony. That means people have been lied to, because there is nothing unachievable at Kapooka. So 12 is basically the number. If you've been a recruit instructor here, please let us know. That's right, Private Pile, second to none. But it's normally 12. And the platoon, I believe, is between 50 and 60 people. Okay. So it's a lot bigger than what a normal infantry platoon would be, but expect that. Yeah. And no matter what you do, people are going to fall out, quit, unless you make it a team, a family, a franchise. We've got the hard-hitting Carl P here, he who lives on the roof that is not Lionel Richie.
Okay, are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready after we get a few more likes, and do we have any new subscribers? There's Chicken Hot. What about raw chicken?
Yuck. What about it?
It looks good when it's marinated. Waity. G'day, mate. How you going?
Yeah, I've got the questions lined up if you want them.
Go. Send it through.
First, I was going to do Dad's. He said, Kaz,
The reason why I recommend that, Daz, is the thing that sucks about being infantry is walking everywhere. That's one of the things that really sucks. Living out in the bush is beautiful, but carrying every single thing yourself, marching order, everywhere you go, 50, 60 kilo pack at times, and add some more if you're wet. But when you're in the back of a vehicle and you're actually a Cav Scout, so to speak, you're actually going to get motorised around, regardless of what the weather is, getting some sleep, while you're on the move, being ready to go. And you get the best of both worlds, especially from an Army Reserve perspective, because they don't have them in the regular Army. So you're going to have some of the benefits of being in a larger team, which are a pseudo infantry, not Aggies, but also getting the benefits of being almost always motorised, mechanised, being mobile as a manoeuvre element. So I think you just get, especially as a civilian, you're getting basically the benefits of two corps at the same time. That's why I'd say it.
Yep, okay.
It's a good question, Daz.
Okay, Waitsy has said, hey Kaz, Lauren and team, my Army Officer Enlistment date is the 12th of January. Smiley face. Love the stream so far.
Waitsy.
Exciting. Congratulations.
Waitsy, I really, really want to talk to you tomorrow, mate. Can you find some time to give me a call? Give me a message and we'll have a talk. And, mate, I can be your Johnny on the spot, your mentor, your unpaid worker, so to speak, throughout RMC. And I'd love nothing better to give you the inside goss that makes people go, well, different's better than good. That's you, Wadey, because you waited long enough. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Good night, Mr. Patterson. Have a great sleep.
Good night, Mr. P. How good's that thumbnail? It's like he's going, no, baby, I've got to go and chill with Kaz.
Yeah, sorry, I've got to go. Yeah, but he's obviously holding her hand down there. So, she's just saying goodbye.
Yeah.
She's not holding on to him pathetically. She's just getting as many cuddles as she can.
It is true. He's going to come back on his shield.
Yep.
I'm going to move on to the next slide real quick.
Yep, you do that. I'll collect
Okay.
some more.
Guys and gals, this is the time to send your questions through. Put some time, some thought into them, so Lauren is inspired by your written word.
Inspire me.
Never be last unless you're the 2IC. The 2IC is the second in charge. The section commander decides on the azimuth, the direction, the bearing that we travel in. The 2IC takes up the rear, like a sailor, Elton John, Ricky Martin, she bangs, but not with him, so to speak. Never be last. You need to go in there, everything that you do. Don't say, oh, I could have done better, but I didn't want to because I'm a grey man. That's bullshit. Everything you do, you try your very hardest, because this is also a pecking order between you and the people in your platoon that you're going to take with you as a reputation for the rest of your career to the next School of Infantry, School of Armour, School of Artillery, School of Signals, School of Intelligence, etc. Don't leave anything left in the sails. Never be last, because we look at the people that come last, and the platoon looks at everyone that comes last. Yep, there is never an excuse to come last. I've come last before, but that's because I blew me wad, went too early.
Oh my God.
Ran too hard. Harder than what I should have. And then people a lot less fit than me, managed to get the win off me because I went too hard too early. It's a saying, Lauren. So never be last, and you won't be noticed. The best way to be grey is to not come last. No one stands out more than the person that's making everyone else work harder for. Yep. When you go to a BF8, go first. Do your push-ups as fast as you can. With your sit-ups, do more than you need to do. With the run as hard as you can. That's 3 different aspects where people are watching who has come last. Because as soon as you come last in anything, there's an asterisk beside your name. Capability is down here. And they're wondering, does this person need some more work? So never come last. Help your buddies. Compete against your buddies. Before a PT session, say, I will defeat you in this PT session. Excellent. Have some fun. Have a sense of humour. Enjoy the ride. The journey. and you're going to be fine. But never come last, because people don't want to be beside the person that comes last either.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't. Yeah. 8 p.m. on Saturday night. You're doing well.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Are you back in the chat now?
Yeah, back in the chat.
Okay. Brody Kane has asked, hey Kaz, are you able to tell me what the difference between infantry and mounted infantry is in a modern setting?
Same thing. It's the same thing. You've got mounted infantry. You've got mechanised. Mounted is a wheeled vehicle, armoured vehicle. Mounted, motorised is wheels. Okay. Mechanised is normally tracked vehicles. And then you've got light infantry or amphibious infantry is the 2nd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment, second to none. But then you've got light infantry. We used to have all light infantry. Light infantry is not as it sounds. Light infantry means you are not encumbered by something else, where you can send, i.e. the 2nd Battalion, 1st Battalion, 3rd Battalion, who is the parachute battalion, and you can send them somewhere where they can go by foot and survive for 72 hours without resupply. You could put them onto a plane. You could put them onto helicopters, air mobile. You could put them onto a ship, a boat. You could put them onto armoured vehicles, being motorised or being mechanised. They are the most... light infantry is a fantastic asset. But don't get me wrong, mechanised and motorised can drop their soldiers off. They can still use their armoured vehicles as weapon platforms. So you will learn all about this in this ever-changing beast. And I've got a video coming out soon, which is also what I believe the future of infantry is. Okay, and it's not going to be, we'll always train for conventional warfare, threat, but I believe what we're going to become is a paramilitary force. Paramilitary, police military, paramilitary force.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Okay. Hang on a second. Let me go at that. Sometimes, Ruben, really, you shit me to tears. I hate to swear, but really. Kaz, do you train with paintball guns?
No.
Yeah, come on,
What we do is not a game. You know.
Look, and, I think you've got a bit of a Hollywood view of some of these roles sometimes. Like, but snipers work really, really hard. It's dirty work. It's not glamorous work.
It's not about the shooting.
Exactly. They're all weird nerds who are pretty good at maths. So rethink maybe your Hollywood views on some of these roles, because it's kind of offensive to people who have put in all the work to be professional soldiers, to have you coming in like it's a game. It really, sometimes you really, really give me the craps. Anyway.
Can we just touch on Tyler's? Because this is a question I've heard before.
Okay, where's Tyler? Hang on, I can't see him. I've got them backed up, that's why. Oh, okay, will I get PTSD like my dad if I joined the ADF?
No one knows. No one knows.
They have a predisposed position to getting PTSD.
Yep.
If your dad got it, you may be genetically predisposed to getting it. But not everyone who joins the ADF gets PTSD. So anyone who experiences trauma, you might be crossing the road and witness a nasty car accident next week in your civilian life and get PTSD.
Yep.
You can get PTSD in any way in your life if you experience some kind of trauma. So I'd say if you're worried about it, make sure you go for a role where you're less likely to experience trauma.
We do resilience training multiple times a year. And we've also got probably, like police force, who normally have someone beside them that changes as well, because they don't necessarily have partners anymore. And we go over these things a lot. And now, when I speak from experience from my PTSD, that is because we went on missions that had rules of engagement that didn't fit the mission, rules of engagement that didn't fit the value system of a first world country's values. It wasn't about mission success. It was just wrong. It was wrong. There's people that go to Afghanistan that had rules of engagement that didn't meet the mission outcomes, and it was wrong.
Yeah, it was.
It is a lack of leadership that takes us on tours that allows us to go into a position that takes down our shield of resilience, because they didn't stand up and say, I do not want my people facing that dilemma unless you give me the rules of engagement that allow them to feel righteous in what they do.
Yeah, those extra risks. That's exactly right. They have a duty of care, and I believe they'll be scrambling to fix that now. But the truth is, you can get PTSD in civilians. There's actually not even that much evidence that the rate is so much higher for people who have served anywhere in the world than what there is in the civilian population. You might face trauma and never get PTSD. It's all about your brain chemistry.
But there's also, there is one big difference. There is one big difference, and civilians get no training at all in their life about resilience. That is your family. Whereas people in military are taught to be resilient, to be strong, sometimes too strong, but also hold it down, and then later it comes out.
Those sort of systems are really important for after trauma and things like that. And that's where your brotherhood and that comes in and helps, that you have other people who've experienced the same thing to talk to about traumas. And that can really help if it happens immediately. I believe that's what the Walter Reed Institute said. So, yeah, really, you can get PTSD anywhere, but at least in the ADF, you are going to have a good chance of managing it, identifying it, and minimising it. But if you're worried about it, I'd say stay out of maybe a high-risk job.
You can get it milking a cow.
Exactly.
That's the reason why they have the assessment session team. The assessment session is they know what you could be facing in your life. And they need to ask the questions like, what do you think about the prospect that even if you are not in infantry and arms corps or cavalry or artillery or aviation, that you may in your duties have to take the life of another human being? And if you say, I don't think I could do that, you're not getting a job. I'd tell you that's the door. See you later.
Yep.
No more conversation. You're out.
Exactly.
A big X, never come back.
Yep. But there is also some wisdom in saying, I can't do this.
You don't say, hey, I want to do that.
Yeah,
But-
exactly. You figure that out before you put your hand up to it. It's about taking things seriously, especially life-changing decisions. We got someone new here. I'm not a sweat, is how it's spelt. I wonder what they meant. That's the name. I'm not a sweat. Hello, I have to say I am new, but I thank you so much for all you have uploaded. I'm thinking of joining, and you're helping me a lot to realise what I'm going to go through. You're welcome.
It's great. It's important you get a source. A lot of people feel like after their military career, especially if they haven't come to something like In the Trenches with Kaz, which is a group effort, that I feel like I was a little bit hoodwinked, by the recruiting. But at the same time, there's normally something in you that drives you to be in the last frontier, to go to the calling, to go to military, whether it be the brotherhood, whether it be the adventure. I don't know anyone that's actually joined and said, hey, I want to go and hurt people. I don't know anyone like that. Oh, maybe one or two. Okay, one or two. Righto. But what I see in people is that herd mentality where they just want something different, something off the grid of normal life, which is what the Army needs to be very careful to not duplicate within the ADF. You know that people have come there because they don't want to do paperwork. People have come here because they don't want identity politics. People have come there because they don't want to be around people that are, swimming in a different direction to them, or judging or being a morale vampire. And we can all be that.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Here's one from Little Mitch.
It's a good name.
Has said, hey Kaz, he started the process to re-enlist next month. What are your thoughts on the process and how it works and goes?
What do you mean re-enlist? What do you mean by that?
Used to be in and got out and is going back.
Okay. Because sometimes I'm making sure it's not someone that went to get in and then didn't join. Re-enlisting.
I don't know. Maybe we should clarify.
Well, it all comes down to how long were you in? Why did you get out? Yep. And that this is the way I see it. There should be a special senior member in the recruiting service that when, just say it was a Skippy 343 comes in and he says, I did 6 years in the 1st Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment. I want to get back in. Okay. You're not going to speak with the people down the front. they're going to call the Sarge. You don't get to talk to a civilian. You know, you don't need to hear, I don't want to hear their voice. I don't want a civilian's version, you know, of the events. So I'm going to go, okay, Skippy, come with me. Sit down, have a cup of coffee. You know, you don't drink coffee? What? Oh, okay, Section Commanders love them, don't drink it. Sit here, talk with me, what's going on? You want to rejoin what happened? You got out because of a girl, didn't you? Or whatever it may be. And if it turns out that I think, oh, this guy, I would say, do you mind if I do a little bit of homework on you, mate? Because I'm about to do you a solid. You know, and if I can get that guy railroaded express back into the military, that should happen if he hasn't been out for too long. But remember that the Army is moving fast. But there should be that case by case where you can save the military money. And if we can make that guy go, and again, I'd make him still do a PFA. And I'd still make him go back through the assessment session so the doctor can talk to him and go, lift your balls up. Let's make sure you don't have a hernia. Let's make sure there's nothing wrong with the cornhole. Let's blood test you. Let's do all those things. But if you've already been in the military and you've been to Kapooka and you've been to Singleton, you've been a successful candidate, you've been on operations, if I can pick you back up again and send you back to a unit, then good. But it'd probably be the same corps you left. You know? I think
Okay.
that, yeah.
Do you need to ring Little Miss Adorable?
It's 8:15. I'll ring her in about another half an hour or so. We've been on here for an hour and 16 minutes. We'll go through to an hour and 30, maybe.
I've got a couple more questions if you've got time.
Yep, go.
There's
Please.
one sorry, I just keep forgetting. Chat's moving pretty quick today. There's been a couple of people needing to go, so sorry for not getting into it earlier. Scullery.
Good name.
Got any advice on promotion?
Unless you're in the military, mate, I wouldn't worry about it. If you're ambitious, then go for RMC. If you're not ambitious and you want the adventure, the mateship, the brotherhood, and you want to take your time, pump the brakes, learn the skills, navigate through a system where you actually realise when you get to a battalion, whether you get to signals, whether you get to CAV, whether you get to whatever corps you go to, whatever you think right now is going to change. And when it changes, you're going to go, oh, okay, now I get it. So guys and girls, please do not get fixated on the end state, the end prize.
Yeah.
You know, just take the steps at a time and understand that doors are going to open and doors are going to close. Everyone, just be careful. I look down, there is a ghost in the chat.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
G'day, ghost.
What you're saying is important. Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey. Promotion, I'm telling.
Appreciate what you're doing now.
Promotions suck. When you're a private soldier and you're turning up and you're okay with money, you're researching the share market, you know, or other tertiary courses, working on making your arms look like a mud crab instead of a blue swimmer, you know, and everything is about cars, chicks, food, dicks, guys, Richard, travel, etc. You're going to have a goddamn ball. All of a sudden it gets so serious when you're a Lance Jack, 2IC. When you're a section commander, you're fixing other people's problems. When you're a platoon sergeant, when you're a warrant officer, you've got all the rest of your life once you have kids to be serious. Take it easy. Have that adventure that you wanted, that you asked for, you deserve. Red Bull gives me wings. I'm excited for you. I'm jealous.
Yeah. Are you ready for a couple more?
We'll do one more slide first.
Okay.
We've got 2 slides to go all up.
Yep.
This is a great one. This is things may seem daunting. It may seem daunting for you now in chat while you're waiting to go for the U session. It might be the assessment session. It might be the PFA. It might be Kapooka. It might be the School of Infantry. It might be the battalion. When you look at things like this picture I've put up here deliberately right now, you're seeing 4 guys there that could get any chick on earth like a Zyrtec. What girl wouldn't go for a guy whose job is to leave submarines? That's homophobic. Just wanted to get away from the sailors. And then their job starts by swimming out of a submarine with a weapon to go to shore, and there's only 4 of you defeating entire countries. It's amazing. But they didn't just get to that point. Those 4 guys that you can see there that have left that submarine, that are below the surface, they started off with someone going, when you pick a weapon up, make sure the safety catch is out. When you put your pants on, you make sure the zipper's to the front. We overcompensate procedures, and we don't skip anything, like putting Lego together to take you from who you are right now, Jay Hayes, JC, go JC, Tyson Walker, Robbie Kent, Carl P. And you can end up being that guy. I know a guy that has left submarines on operations, who's currently the SASR, and these guys, they get there by doing manageable steps, by learning incrementally, by not failing and then qualifying for the next step and the next step and the next step. Before you know it, you can't actually even explain to someone how you can be so good on the guitar. It was just the practice, repetition, the mateship, the mentoring, the money spent on you, the incremental courses that made you the best version of you. Avril Lavigne, one of the things that I loved out of her songs about Skater Boy, if you've heard the lyrics in it,
Yep.
one of the things I always listen to is that she said that she could see the man that he could be. They'll call him a boy, but she could see in him the man that he could be, because she believed his actions. She heard his inner thoughts when he spoke them to her, what his frustrations are. And she listened to that, and she knew what he could do, the potential. And that's where you need to lead from actions. Please, do not eat the elephant in one bite. You won't achieve it. Don't try to make sense of the little things that you learn. Why do we learn drilling in Kapooka? Well, how about you look at it from the point of view that one day you might be at a ramp ceremony where one of your dead friends is in a box from a mission that you were on where you survived with survivor guilt, and now he's in that box with the flag draped across. His family's about to take receipt of that, and there you are giving the best drill, the best regimental pauses to give him the most respect. Don't ask questions of things that are time and tested, that are there to allow you to be holy, which means set apart from the rest. Everything is there for a reason. The public spends money so you can learn it, believe it, understand it, and it'll all fit into the jigsaw puzzle later. Do not get daunted by the end state. Otherwise, when you saw an SAS beret, you'd go, that's too hard. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe you are the droid they're looking for. Always remember that. I believe the man that you can be, Skater Boy.
Yep. But then, having said that, ladies, don't just stick around with someone for who you think they could become. Don't join up in a relationship with someone trying to change them.
Yep. And if he doesn't have a car at 25, he's only got a skateboard, that's not the Skater Boy she was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're okay with that. Unless you're cool with that, that's fine. Just saying.
But if you see him rocking up MTV, then it's time to get back on board.
Yeah. It's like a really big problem in a lot of domestic violence situations is that women say that they stay with them because they know he can change or they know who he could be.
Yeah.
But if he's not becoming the better version of himself, then there's no point. Everyone's got potential. They've got to act to get it out of themselves.
How true could it be? Can we start with JC's question there and then go through JC, then Nicholas, and then down to Mr. Buckaroony, please?
I'm not down the bottom. Hang on. JC doesn't have a question.
I know you'll make. I can't read it properly. Sorry, JC. My eyes are glued on.
No, I think he's giving advice to people in their chat. Mr. Buckaroony, hey guys, just got home from another day inside the wire. Hope everyone is well. Hi, Mr. Buckaroony.
Mr. Buckaroony is a fantastic channel, And because of him, I'm going to ring someone right now that you guys are all going to hear before we close out. And this guy is also one of the best people that I've ever worked with in my life. And he knows Lauren very well too. And he might know some of you. Sniper Harry.
Oh, yeah.
This is the guy that's in charge of the 2nd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment's assistance for veterans. And he runs... What is it?
G'day, this is Jason Harrison. I'm away from my phone, so please leave.
Bloody imposter. That was his time. What we're going to do, team, we're going to actually sponsor the 2nd Battalion Museum, as an organisation that you're all coming with me now. So make sure you join the channel, which is the button beside the subscribe button, so that we can actually assist in how we can to also help out these people that help others, which one day are going to be you. Yep. Anyway.
Exactly. Are you up to questions?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Cam Ron Un has asked, the job I want is currently not recruiting. I just turned 18. Should I apply, go to the office, or just wait till the website says it's recruiting for that job?
Cameron on. What I'd recommend to you, mate, is that you've got to have 3 choices. We want you to have 3 choices, because that's like someone saying, I'll only accept 2 RA. You go, it doesn't work that way, mate. There's certain position numbers that are allocated. What was the role that you wanted to do? Because you should have 3. And if you have 3, then they can go, oh, no, Cameron on. Okay, we're on. We've found one for you. You're making it very hard for them to assist you in your journey for the best version of you, following the footsteps of the Anzacs, mate. So please think of 3 choices. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We'll tackle that problem together, and we'll find some choices for you, mate. Mine was only infantry after I realised infantry existed. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Brody Payne.
Hey, Brady.
Has asked again, hey Kaz, what is the main role of the Light Horse Regiment? Is it just recon, or do they conduct dismounted manoeuvres?
The Light Horse Regiment are a cavalry unit, and their role is kinetic, which means similar to seeking out and close with the enemy, kill, catch them, seize and hold ground, repel attack by day or night, regardless of season, weather, terrain. Their job is to support infantry. Cavalry don't operate without infantry support. The reason is they become very vulnerable without infantry supporting them. But the Light Horse Regiment, their role is cavalry, okay, despite the fact that they don't have swords. And their job is just to share the battlefield, front line, threat force, forward operating base management, okay, with Foxhound 343 elements. So I'm not trying to confuse you there, but their job is to share the front line, but in armoured vehicles. What have we got there? Bailey, but not Bailey's hat. Welcome to the Great Unwashed.
And Leo's in there with the blue cow.
Leo always here, lurking. Subscribe or risk being branded a sailor. That's true. If you're watching right now and you don't press the like button to get us over the 100, then I'm going to suspect that you have white pleats in your cupboard, and you know what? The sailor's still wearing them. A bit of Billy Ocean, causing some ocean on your waterbed. Yep, so press the like right now, get the join button, watch your name turn green, and then become a sergeant in another 6 months. We should be basically on the verge right now of people becoming sergeants. It's so close. Bring on the Kraken. The only reason why I didn't have the Kraken and the Nutsu Cow tonight was because we had so many slides on different things that were actually given to you guys.
Yep.
Are we ready for the last slide? We've been going for an hour and 29 minutes.
Yeah, quite a long time.
This is the most important clash of cultures that I'm going to speak about. Here we go. Let's keep hold of that for a second. Team. Bam. The biggest reason, the biggest destroyer of military careers is people quitting. If that guy quits, she's done. That's metaphorically you and your buddy. Your mate goes to quit. You say, don't do it, mate. Don't do it. You've got this. You're a dickhead, but I forgive you. It's fine. I'll buy you Coke when we get off gold tabs, and we can do that. Do not quit. Shares are not a bad idea until you sell. Okay, a marriage is not over until you leave. What I'm saying to you is when you go to Kapooka, there's a clash of culture. You've gone from civilian to military. Two different families, and Kapooka is in no way a representation of a military career. JC can tell you that. Mr. Bryce can tell you that. Michael Stott can tell you that. Medic! I can tell you that. Mr. Buckaroony can tell you that. Don't quit. If you quit early, you'll become a quitter. If you become a quitter, it becomes too easy the next time something doesn't fit. You don't want to become stolen valor where you have to lie about the reason why you didn't make it through. It's too late for so many before my channel commenced, where people thought that the stress, the pressure was unsurmountable, and they let it go. Let it go. You don't have to do that. If you don't quit, you will make it through Kapooka. You've already been vetted aptitude. You've been vetted medically, psychologically, physically. We've spoken about this before. As long as you don't quit, you'll make it through. There is a chance you may even get back squatted, and you can deal with back squatted, and you can go in there and you can just apply yourself, and people can tell actions and effort, and they will forgive you, and they will look after you, and they will nurture you. They'll bring you back into the nest. They'll requalify you, retrain you, retest you, and you still end up with the Rising Sun hat badge of the best small army in the world, which changes your life. And you look back on that time that you showed the first real resilience in your life, where you became an adult overnight by facing defeat, the red pen, by understanding that you're not perfect, being part of the team, being fragile, but rebuilding yourself and moving on. As long as you don't quit, you're still in the game. If you don't quit, you've still got your honour, because you are probably your worst critic of all. With that out the way, what I just want to say is this is going to be back over to the team now, and I look forward to hearing what you've got to say, who you are, what you're going to do, and when are you joining. Not in this comments for this video. I'm going to put one out for you tomorrow. But you were about to go into a new family in 2021. When everyone else is talking about 2020 and potentially even a further decline in 2021, you're going to be in a place set apart. You're going to be surrounded by people in a time of loneliness for so many others. And you are going to be the best version of you. But you will face trepidation. You will face pressure. But not depression. Because we won't let you. Someone will always be there to have you back. And the best friends that you have are going to be your section, which is now your franchise. Because they will take you on and lift you up and push you forward, regardless of who you are, what your religion is, what your gender is, because we're a family. And if you don't believe it, enlist tomorrow and you'll see for yourself. They're the real deal. The best small army in the world. Find the footsteps of the Anzacs. And if you don't think it gives you a qualification, why don't you ask someone from an executive level? Would they take someone on who has a military background? Absolutely, they will. No excuses, just results, teamwork, regardless of the uniform you're wearing. That's a conclusion of the formal aspect of tonight's stream. And I'd like to hand it back over to you, the lovely people of the stream. How are you going?
Yeah, they're going good. Lucas is partially blind in one eye. That's going to affect his chances of being in the infantry, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Detection is one of the biggest things, mate.
No fault of your own, and there will be other ways you can serve your nation. You know, the ADF is not the only way you can serve Australia.
Yep.
You know, so it's sometimes life throws you a curveball, and you've just got to make the most of it. You've just got to grab life with whatever it gives you and squeeze squeeze out of it what you can.
And you know what, mate? If I was in the military and I couldn't do it, and if I couldn't do Army, I'd be Navy, warship, and then maybe police force or prisons. I'd be an entrepreneur, and I'd either be selling shirts, I'd be a YouTuber, or I'd be a coffee baron.
Yeah.
You know.
And look, let's just clarify this. He's saying, well, what if I try really hard? But if you are legally blind,
No.
Partially blind in an eye, it's not just a risk to you, it's a risk to your other teammates. It's not a franchise, remember.
As an infantry member, you have a whole sector, each soldier, peripheral vision, which they're looking around, looking for any type of threat to the family, the franchise, the section, the fire teams, okay, the organisation.
Yeah.
They can't afford to have someone up there that is already in a position where they are compromised, mate, and I'm sorry for that.
It's not really discrimination, it's more discernment, and it's about risk management. And Lucas has just said he's done his Googling, and the QPS is another thing I can grab, and the eye checks out regarding it. Then go for that, son. Or, give it a go. It depends on, I know there's percentages of blindness and that. If it can be corrected, then maybe you can go for it.
Yeah.
But I would certainly check it out, and don't give up on doing a role that helps people.
Look, absolutely not. Because the thing about resilience is keep getting back up again, mate. But you also need to be, and I'm sure that Private Pyle would tell you this, you also need to be realistic with yourself. Because there is nothing worse than when someone presents themselves to you, whether it's on a course, whether it's as an instructor, and there is something that's lacking that cannot be rectified for that role, and they force you to tell them the hard yards. It's.
And Chicken Boy has just said, wait, so if I wore glasses, would I have a chance? Sure you would. I actually heard that Harry, who you were calling before, used to wear really, really impressive glasses. So, yeah, for sure, I believe with glasses, that's fine. And especially if you can get it corrected with lasers, then it's usually not a problem. But if what Lucas was saying was partially blind, that's a whole different kettle of fish. Yeah,
but most of our job is about detecting the enemy before he detects us through patrol techniques and procedures. So, yeah.
Yeah, he said he's had it since birth, and there's no fault of your own, and it's not because they wouldn't love to have you there. It's just that you might be a risk to not only yourself, but to other people and to the mission.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Look, there's so many different roles out there, and you guys are never going to retire. Did you know that? You're never going to retire. We're realising more and more now that the reason why you work is also because of comradeship, because of a shared identity. You choose to go into a career that pays well, that sucks, which is the reason why it pays well.
Yeah.
There is people that earn far less money than what you're ever going to get, but love what they do for the rest of their life. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world now, doesn't give a zack about money. Not a single sesterce. He doesn't care. And he made, tell us how much he made. Don't look at the internet, team. How much in chat did Elon Musk make in the last week?
Yeah, more than Bezos. That's all I know.
I'll give you a hint. Yeah, more than Bezos. He is the richest man in the world now. How much did he make in the last week when his shares went up? All paperwork. Thanks, Nico. Jay, Lord, please remind Kaz about calling. Oh, that's true. I do forget quite often, don't I?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a hint because I can't see it coming up there.
Yeah, because no one knows.
$60 billion. $60 billion he made in 1 week.
Wow.
And they believe that he makes more than $1 billion a day at this stage. They're expecting him to be a $10 trillion company soon. $10 trillion.
Yep, amazing.
And at the end of the day, the big rub when Bezos was in front of him was Elon Musk can turn around and go, yeah, but you made your money delivering boxes, man. Delivering boxes. I've got a Tesla in space that's heading towards Mars with a dummy and a motorbike helmet in it. And for those that don't know, he's also about to have the first car race on the moon this year. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. You know, I kind of like how quirky he is. I've got to say it. I like it.
He's quirky, you know.
Brightens the place.
When someone doesn't give a shit about money, they care about just having an awesome life. That's what he is. But he does a 120-hour week. What amount of time is between basic and IET? Nitro. You're not going to like this one. How long does it take to drive between Kapooka and Singleton? That long. That's it.
Yeah.
When you leave Kapooka, you know, you march out on the Friday, whether that be legitimate with your family turning up once the vaccine comes out. You spend the weekend, finish off paperwork, packing up the lines, refurbishing those, getting your gear stapled, put in trunks, and then from there you get on a bus on Monday to the School of Infantry. When you get to the School of Infantry, you'll get there at night time. The next morning, you'll go and do a fitness test to see if you are able to continue going on, or whether you're going to be in holding platoon and you may be waiting there doing extremely hard PT for weeks or a month plus, based on what your ability was to project yourself and your capabilities in a BFA against other soldiers. It's the big leagues. When I say you can't fail Kapooka, you can absolutely fail Singleton. Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you got time for one more comment?
I can. I just got to ring Amanda quickly.
Oh, okay, you do that.
I'm just going to ring my little girl because Jay will not forgive me if I don't ring this little cherub. And she is the best looking version of what I could produce, I tell you. Hello, darling. How you doing?
Hi.
How you going, Bubby?
Good.
What are you doing?
Eating popcorn.
I wish I had popcorn. Does it have triple butter?
No, it's
If it doesn't have triple butter, it's only good for filling Kenyan pillows.
it's not butter. It's sweet and salty.
Ah, okay. Sweet and salty. Okay, I got it. I'm going to go and watch The Dry tomorrow. It's a scary movie. I'm going to eat triple butter popcorn and a large Coke. You sound very loud. Are you going to say hello to everyone in chat, darling?
Hi.
How old are you now?
9.
And how old's your puppy? 4 months. Did you miss Achilles or did you miss Dad?
9 killings.
You going to say hello to Jay Hayes? West Side?
Hey, John Haley.
No, Jay Hayes. Lauren's here too.
Hi, Lauren.
Hello.
Are you going to say that everyone should join? If you want to, join the army. Be like your dad.
Just be yourself.
Be yourself. That's some good advice.
The best advice ever.
Good on ya. Good on ya. Hey, darling. Can I come and see you when I get the coffee tomorrow?
Yeah, so whatever.
Okay. I love you.
Love you too.
Goodbye, sweetheart.
Goodbye,
Good night, darling. Bye. Bye. She doesn't even realise that Hillary Clinton's under a bed.
Because she doesn't care. She's not scared of her.
Yeah.
What good advice.
What's fugly? Yeah, that really surprised me when she said that.
Yeah.
Guys and gals, you're gonna be a dad one day or a mum, and I've got to tell you, it's the best thing in the world. You know, I was a pretty selfish prick, you know, who only had enough love for the army and nothing else, basically. But as soon as she was born, that's when it all came home, and I realised there's better things than just yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Callum here, 15th of Feb, mate. Sorry?
I was just about to read Callum's out.
Oh, sorry. Can you read that out, please?
Yep, 15th of Feb. Big support this page has been, and love the advice and guidance given by you and others keen to start a new adventure in life. That is a great attitude, and that is very, very exciting.
It's so exciting. You know, let's explain something for a second. We've got Carl, who's going to join the military soon as well. Very, very soon. It is so hard to explain the difference between joining the Army at 19 like I did and someone like Carl. When Carl could feel for so many years, this is what I want. It's really what I want, what I really, really want. Very Spice Girl-esque. And now they're finally in a position where they've had some successes. They know they're going to make it. And they have a maturity level that they can appreciate what they're about to get into and how it's going to change their life in so many different ways. It's really inspiring for myself to watch the journey. When I see you when you're 18, 17, 19, and you're joining the military, and I know that there is a group of people right now around Australia who are all moving towards one central point, for good or bad, are going to be your new brothers and sisters. And I know that if you just stick it through and you don't give up, that you're going to have a career similar to what I had, in uncharted territory, where you know what it's like to fail, where you know what it's like to win, where it's not about participation. You're going to have a really, really good life. And you will not get that in almost any other thing, where you know what your actual parameters are. We see people go to the gym twice a day, once a day, for years and years on end, but don't compete in a single thing. You will actually see what your physicality, mentality, robust nature is in adverse conditions, and do you pass or do you fail? And at the end of the day, you can only quit to fail. Other than that, you're on a stretcher. And you'll never be alone again while you're in the military. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
It's a really great thing. You know?
Yeah. Oh, Fugly's little man Harley turned 9 months yesterday. Can you believe it's
Jeez, that happens quick.
since little Harley came into the world? And love to Harley and Gina, Fugly.
Especially Gina.
Yeah, especially Gina. We love Gina.
Oh, dude.
Do you have more questions or are you done?
No. I'm quite happy. Look, how long do you want me to stay on here for a team? Because this...
There's still questions rolling in.
And it is Saturday. This is a feeder stream, which is designed to create smaller streams that I'll work on tomorrow once I get over this hangover of 3 mid-strength beers.
Look, Misty's giving some really, really good advice there in the chat to Chicken Boy. Was asking about whether he should mention having been in cadets when he gets there. And like Misty's saying, you really, there's a good possibility you'll get picked on if you do that. So it's kind of maybe just keep stum about it. You know, if it comes up in conversation, certainly don't deny it, but you know, it's not really going to help you or impress anyone. So Mist has got some really good experience, and I think you should listen to him.
And you know what? That extends to Army Reserve. If you're in the Army Reserve and you're actually in a regular Army platoon, you don't say you're Army Reserve either, because it's not that there's nothing to be proud of about being Army Reserve. It's because they're thinking, why are you telling me that? Do you want to put yourself on a higher level than what your family is? Because the one thing that you have in common with each other, and I was an Army Reservist before I joined, remember that. The one thing that they take away is that you're all dead level when you come to Kapooka. And if you show any sort of beep, beep, bump, they're going to think, so what, you want rewards? Do you want to be the 2IC of the section?
Yeah.
You know, what do you want? Do you want privilege? Why are you telling us that? You know, and if you tell people that you're a cadet, or you tell people that you were in Army Reserve, then the instructors, as well as your peers, are going to expect you to be better. And if you're not, then what does it say about you? So just be careful about projecting. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, because you really don't, you might have the best of intentions, but you might accidentally make yourself look like a bit of a dick, and you don't want to do that. We don't want you to do that either. We want you to give yourself the best possible start, both socially and professionally.
Isaac has just said something really good there. Can you please hit that, Lauren?
Comment, yeah. Okay, Isaac Watson, who is a member, has said, can you apply for the ADF under 18 and have a good chance?
Have you ever heard someone that's 18 tell you, I've got this, I'm mature, I'm not like others? I have. Let other people tell you that you're mature for your age, etc., or great fit. We make mistakes as we're growing older, right up into our 30s. So 18 is not a magic number as such. But I would say be very careful about going for the prize too early, because you can never use an excuse, I was only 17, or I was only 18, or I was only 25. You can't have excuses. They're going to say that you put your tactical judgment on the line when you said, I've got this, and you passed your U session, assessment session, PFA, etc., and you came in here. Of course you can. A guy I called the brother, Hillary Clinton, I call him. He is who I go to for advice, and he's 10 years younger than me. And he was 17 when I walked into a room as a section commander, and he had a naked Aboriginal in his room. Bloke. And I said, this is my very first time down this corridor, and I walk into a bloke who looks pretty bloody young with a naked Aboriginal man in his room. What the hell am I meant to think here, son? And he goes, he was just getting changed in here. And I went, well, it's going to take you a long time to convince me otherwise, because I've got rumours spreading in my mind right now I couldn't wait to talk about if it comes to that. Same lad, love him. He is a tough son of a bitch. But he was 17 years old. We're at a pool session, and he was being nasty with people and trying to be a hard ass. So as a section commander, I went and got him and came very close to snapping his neck. Put him in the pool, held him down, treated him like a dog that wasn't doing its job. He went under the water, up and down, and until basically it was time to roll on your back and admit you've been defeated. There was no harm, but you just learn the hard way. And I see that guy now as family. Love him. Yep. And he was a fantastic operator. Just sometimes broken arrow. That's all.
Yep. And we all have our moments.
Yep. You cannot tell people how to, what would you call it? You cannot tell people how to accept your immaturity lapses or at the fact that you're still learning. They don't see a 17-year-old. They just see another person in uniform. You'll get treated like an adult straight away. Just remember that.
Yep, for sure. Okay, next question. Joel Hurdle, who is a member, said, Kaz, can you talk about the differences between ARES,
Army Reserve.
Yep, and ARA, Infantry, Kapooka, IETs, and going to your unit?
Well, you're not going to be infantry at Kapooka. Okay. You're actually just a recruit until you pass. Okay. Once you pass, then you go to your corps allocation. So you're an Australian service soldier, all corps soldier, But then from there, you go to your IET training. The difference between Army Reserve and regular Army is in regular Army, you're doing the same job every single day, 24 hours that you can be called on. Army Reserve, you can choose when you want to go and represent. You can avoid some of the things that would have been the best tests of you and your character. You are being led by, quite often, people that are having a rest, from the front line, from the online stresses, etc., while they're getting ready for promotion. You may not have a full platoon. I'm talking about Army Reserve here. You know that you're not about to get deployed. You might not have the resources. You might not have the leadership. You are the B team. You are like reserve grade rugby league that feeds into A grade. At any time, you may get told there is a situation going on. There might be operational tempo where they're saying, are you willing to leave everything behind, sign a contract now, and become a regular soldier? These things can happen, to represent in a battalion environment. Regular army, there is no escape. You can't roll your eyes. You can go to jail for being a minute late. There is no escapes. You can get drunk, drink, drive, whatever, lose your job. Every day there is no escape. Every day you are accountable for your actions. You are going to be instructed every day by section commanders, 2 ICs who have the power of God over you. Same as platoon commanders, platoon sergeants, CSMs. There is no grey matter. You are on the tools. You are living the life of the soldier and we pay tax. That's always a weird one. The people that do Army Reserve don't get taxed. Yeah. It is very different, mate. It is very different. It's like saying by going to Kapooka, do you know what it's like to be in the regular army? No, you know what it's like to be at Kapooka. Yeah. At Singleton, do you know what it's like to be in the regular army? We didn't get any time off, but I don't know what it's like to be in the regular army yet. It is the time that you spend in the regular army where you slow down and you get used to it and you get routine and you start to realise it's like the UFC. You train for the fight. It ramps up. You fight. It ramps down. It ramps up. You fight. It ramps down. But we train for the biggest fight, and the hardest work we ever do is in training. I can't even. My eyes are done.
Yeah, there's a yellow cow there. I shall read.
Not too cow. I even hurt my hand with my HB pencil here, out of respect for that Asian cow. I always love it when you're on a rant and you get a donation, because not only thank you very much, not too cow again above the head. I'll even go to a different angle for that one. It's because you feel like you might have just said something that someone finally needed to hear.
You weren't ranting. There's a big difference between speaking about a subject and ranting. Okay, Desata 420 said, bless your soul, man. You really don't know how many people you have helped. Thank you for your work.
I appreciate your words, mate. And you don't need to be religious, or spiritual. But, mate, it's funny you say that, because this actually come from Jerusalem while I was representing Australia. I'm not trying to power of Christ compel you sort of thing. That's actually from Jerusalem when I was over at the Sinai. And that was one of the predicaments, one of the representations that I got to have as one of the journeys, one of the adventures, while I was picking up where are we? Something you will be more interested in. Get down there, box. The artifacts that we collect on our operational tours, and I've shown you this already. This is just one piece. This is the shrapnel from the Western Trenches that was fired by the British forces on the trenches of the Turks and the Germans at Beersheba that the Australians assaulted on horseback as the light horse, where they didn't dismount. They went the whole way. They seeked out. They closed the enemy. They killed or captured him. They won the day, and ultimately ended up kicking the Ottomans Empire to the curb. If you don't roll the dice, if you never take a chance, you might have the money, you might have the house, you might have the lady and your kids at a private school. But there is nothing better than looking down and saying, I have a life that's been lived. And this is the reason why I have a YouTube channel, why Lauren has a YouTube channel, why Bucko has a YouTube channel. And at the end of the day of that, I couldn't imagine not doing it. What would I do instead? I've got a lower bowel disease. I've got PTSD that I don't talk about that often, which is tweaked all the time in Western Sydney. And my back is as busted as a hooker's that's worked at Mount Isa for 17 years.
Oh, good Lord.
But I forget all of that by talking to Jay Hayes, JJ, by talking to Timmy, Robbie Kent, Robbie Wool, Daz, Dave D, the moderators, Mr. P, Lauren.
Yep.
everyone in this chat I'd never met until I started this channel.
That's true.
It is insane. If you open doors and trust people to come through, that you will meet the odd troll, you'll meet the odd imposter.
Yeah, whatever.
But it is fantastic, and I love it, and I wouldn't change it.
It's true. Kaz,
Yeah.
everyone's saying I'm a little quiet. I thought it might have been because of the bearded microphone, perhaps.
I thought I was... Oh, well, I'll get it waxed tomorrow. That's actually chin hair, team.
Yeah, Mr. P wasn't impressed.
I don't know why, if he finds me attractive or not, but you go, Mr. P, why do my looks matter so much to you, mate, before you go to bed? Are you trying to put me in that bank?
All right, are you ready for another question?
Yeah, of course.
Tassie Devil is here.
Hey, Tassie Devil.
And Tassie Devil was asking about merch before, but here's the actual question I was going to read out. Hi, Kaz. I'm just waiting to book my assessment session, but my parents are pushing for him to get a job as I wait, since I was told 6 to 12 months. I think that sounds sensible.
Okay.
I think get a job.
Yep.
Get a job, you bum.
It's a great song too.
You know, why not?
And if that means that you work in a coffee van or a coffee shop so you can be around other people while still training, how much money do you need to be happy as long as you promise to yourself that this is a temporary period? You know, we're seeing more and more that a university degree, if it's not followed through with, if the career is not embraced afterwards, is not only worthless to you, but it's extremely expensive for the rest of your life. You know, they're not judging you on what you want to do. They're just asking you to do something in between. Maybe your parents have got a box of Viagra and they just need you out of the house.
Yeah, I mean, well, and also it's good for you because, you know, it'll give you lots of experience and skills and things that you can apply to your new career when you get in the army. But I would suggest when you go for the interview, don't say, you know, yeah, I'm just doing this until I enlist. Just go, do the interview, do your best, get a job, you'll be happier for it.
Can I get you to do something crazy for me?
It depends. What is it?
I know you're not a priest or a nun. Can I get you to speak to the ghost?
Yeah, what do you want me to say?
Well, what's he saying? I can't see it.
Do you want me to send it to the pits of hell? Be gone, thou foul beast.
Yeah, the damn ghost.
Yeah.
You know, Patrick Swayze wannabe.
This ghost is good. He makes good comments.
Demi Moore, the old one or the new one? I'd go the new one. Ghost. What's he saying there?
I've still got questions lined up.
Oh, sorry.
I've got one from Ghost.
Okay.
Ghost said, planning on enlisting this year, goal since I was little. 26 now, got a DUI 3 years ago, only just blew over the legal limit. First offence, no court, lost licence. How will this affect my chances of applying?
No idea, mate, but that will come out in the assessment session. That's when that will show up, mate.
Yeah, it may not stop you. Give it a go for sure, but do be willing to talk about it.
If that was me, it wouldn't make any difference to me. I'd say that's a judgment call. You're a dickhead, mate. Because, you know why? Because there's people in the military that do an ND, which is a negligent discharge, which means they fire their weapon through a lack of control of that weapon system. Do we kick them out of the army where they potentially shot one of their buddies? Nope. We charge them. They learn. They get a hefty fine. And then they have the embarrassment of being able to say to people when they go, has anyone here ever been caught DUI? Has anyone here ever done an ND? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You know, so I wouldn't hold it against you, but that doesn't mean that the corporate levels won't.
Yeah, and they might. Look, I reckon you'll probably be okay but I can't say that for sure. I think you will have to talk about it for sure, and you may have to show a change and explain to them how you've changed and things like that.
I'm just laughing at Decable because I always think of Decabolus when you think there who got his head cut off. Which Patreon do you join? There's like 9 of them. They're basically the same thing, mate. They're the same thing, but I just wanted to give you the choice of having Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, or Delta, because they're the rifle companies within a battalion environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, where were we up to? Hang on. No, I did ghost. Who's next? Okay. Desator. Yep, he's completed his use session and handed in my background check. What's next?
One of the hardest things is a security check.
Yep.
That one really, really sucks. The security. I can't even say it properly. Security check. To get your security, and I don't believe it should be getting done before you join the Army either. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, can you just read that question to me again, please?
Yep. Desator, who was the one who gave the donation before, said, I've completed my use session and handed in my background check. What's next?
Well, next is the assessment session, mate. And that one is all about, what do you want to do? This is what you've unlocked. Have you actually stood out somewhere? And now we can see that you're possibly a good candidate without ever considering it for commando, pre-selection, or for officers, or for pilot, or anything else. Also, it's going to look at what cause do you want to go into, what are your 3 choices, and why. Your assessment is also going to cover, do you have any medical injuries that you do not know exist? And that is going to involve also taking your pants off, walking like a duck, and seeing if anything pops out your clacker. On top of that, there's going to be a psychology where they're actually going to look in and ask you little questions like, would you be willing to take the life of another human being during the performance of your role that you're after? And there's only one right answer. And that answer, and I don't like to give the answers for psychology questions, is similar to, I understand that I will be a different individual that has been trained, educated, and understand the reasons of missions, rules of engagement, etc., where you would never ask me to do it if it wasn't something that was essential for either the mission or saving myself or those around me. So my question is, I would say yes. You know, without saying that, yes, I'm looking forward to it. It's not something I'm joining to do. So that's the answer to my question. Yes, I'd be willing to do that. Okay, good.
That's good. Good answer. Timmy has a question. Our Timmy Doust. He's asked, he said, Kaz, should the Army and other services choose what role enlisted ranks are placed in the same way officers at RNC are? Why don't they do this now?
They did used to do that. And what happened was it could shake the fakers out of the bag. So what used to happen is you used to turn up, unless you had a special skill set that was a pedigree role, i.e. Whether that was for officer's role, pilot, all that sort of thing. What used to happen was you'd turn up to Kapooka and there'd be a certain amount of positions. You could turn up to a platoon where there's 60 people in a platoon, 50 get through, and there might be 8 positions for aviation. Within that, there'd be certain roles within there. There might be some for Ramey. There might be some for cooks. There might be some for transport. There might be 17. There might be 27 for infantry. And then they'd say, this is who you are, and you'd get read out. This is the role you're going to. So you could literally be there for the entire 3 months, pass everything, thinking you're going to go to Ramey, then you're going to be infantry, son. And you're going to be on a vehicle tomorrow, and you better be ready for the fitness test. And when you turn up, your name literally goes from your name to the regimental number to fuckface. And you're like, oh, okay. So you got to learn very quickly. So that's what they used to do. I don't think it was a fair way to deal with people that were actually volunteers.
Yeah. You remember Daniel Scott?
Yeah.
And I believe Daniel has a 2-year-old little girl, if that was the Daniel I was talking to before in the chat when you were on the phone to your little one.
Well, the reason why I remember Daniel Scott, Nutsu Cow, is his initials are DS, which is directing staff, which are the people that come and kick our ass all the time while we're laying in the mud. So Daniel Scott, well done.
You've actually got a really great memory, Kaz.
Well, there's little things that kick it off.
Yeah, mnemonic devices. I think they're called.
The Tasmanian Devil is
Yeah,
actually
okay.
joined at the coffee level too.
Yep.
Not too cow.
When you got a second, Isaac Watson, who is a member, has asked, if you have distant relatives that have made some wrong decisions, petty stuff, is it okay? Do they judge you on what your relatives have done?
No. I'm going to give you, after I quickly talk Tasmanian Devil for a second, I'm going to give you an example of that that's going to make you go, holy shit.
Yeah.
So wait there for a second. Tassie Devil, thank you very much, mate. Is there any expectation, if you're a bearer of coffee, on what that coffee is? Is it going to be black decaf from the Pronto machine at McDonald's? Or is it allowed to be the cappuccino with 2 sugars large, full cream milk? You know, because if I was going to get someone a coffee a month, I would make sure that it was something that put some hair on their chest. And we've got Delegate there. We're coming back to you. Hey, Kaz, finally BFA fit. That's a good fitness to be. Assessment day Tuesday after Brizzy lockdown. Finishes going infantry and general service officer. Product knowledge down pat. And again, Delegate, we're here for you, mate. We want you to succeed. You know, we need our officers to be in a position where they are able to communicate so that people understand that what they have to offer makes a difference on the street. Yep. I'm looking forward to hearing what your response is, what your results are, and you know that you're always able to talk to me in hushed tones like this while the rest of your mates are failing. You've actually got me at an assessment going, Kaz. His centre of gravity, what would that be? I'll go, I'll tell you what his centre of gravity is, mate. What about his most likely approach? Okay, most dangerous course of action. Yep, got that too.
Okay.
So let's go back one step.
Isaac, yep, if you have distant relatives that have made some wrong decisions, petty stuff, okay.
We actually had one of the gangsters of King's Cross. His son actually joined the infantry. And I thought this was disgusting. Not that he joined. That when he joined infantry, he got there and all of a sudden, once he fully qualified, he was a lovely, respectful young bloke. He had some scars on him, don't get me wrong, that you shouldn't have at someone so young. Let's just say he led a hard life. But you could tell the girls liked him too. But then they held him over and didn't send him to the battalion because of a security risk. You're going, well, you shouldn't have let him through the door unless you were going to give him the keys to the city. This kid's proved himself. You know, I don't blame the sins of the father on the son until they bring that into my world. You know, and sometimes it's the background that gives the spine the beef jerky in the soul that gets the guy across the line and gives him his leadership.
Beef jerky of the soul. I like that.
I just made that up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The toughness. The raw, giddy up, rawhide.
A little bit of saltiness too.
Yeah.
Like it.
I do. Timmy Dowse doesn't drink coffee. Immature.
I don't drink coffee either though.
Super strong milkshake. My daughter doesn't drink milkshakes. Freak.
Well, maybe she doesn't like it.
Yeah, but it's an excuse for a time with Dad.
Maybe she'd rather a hot chocolate or something with marshmallow.
You're allowed to take a Garmin watch to Kapooka. Joel, that's an excellent question. Yes, you can. You have to have a watch, but it has to be black. I know it sounds racist, but black watches matter.
Yeah, Isaac Watson had asked before that, would you get reamed for wearing an expensive watch at Kapooka?
You are not going to get raped for wearing an expensive watch. Let me tell you, team, when you ask what you were allowed to take to Kapooka, you have to have a watch. You have to be, you will become OCD. Dave D knows this. You'll become OCD for timings. But the watch has to be black because part of your uniform is to wear a black watch. I know it doesn't necessarily make sense. You know, you can't be wearing your gold watch, your Thailand $7 Rolex. But you'll be involved in time planning, whether it be fire planning, whether it be picking lists. whether it be just turning up on time. Remember, it's a crime in the military to be late. And when I say it's a crime to be late, I mean 5 minutes early.
Yep, exactly. Okay, here is a question from Olal Oyet, who I believe is heading off soon.
That's a good name.
Just missed the date. So do remember to put your dates in the, sounded bad, in the comments.
Not in this one. Not in this one. In the one that's coming out tomorrow.
Right, in the video that's coming out tomorrow. Do put your dates in there for us. He's asked, what kind of freedom do you have
Freedom.
at IT, and are you allowed to have a car?
If you go to infantry, you cannot have a car at all. You cannot drive a car by law at all if you go into infantry. You will get weekends off, but none of them are guaranteed. It will depend on what the corporate performance has been of your platoon. Anytime, training cell can say, I acknowledge what the staff have said. This platoon is underdone, or something occurred, whether it be COVID-19, etc., that has hampered the ability for these guys to achieve their task at hand. Therefore, this weekend is like a sailor in red slacks, poof, gone.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, JJ.
JJ can take it.
No one can hear him scream down there. 40 leagues below the sea.
Yep.
Getting attacked by a kraken and then goes, I really felt like calamari.
Yeah. I was thinking, if you ever write your biography, you really should call it Beef Jerky of the Soul.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah, it was really good. We should put it on a t-shirt.
People used to like what I used to say about the military is the catcher's mitt of lost souls.
Huh?
The military, namely infantry and the fighting corps, is the catcher's mitt of lost souls.
Oh, yeah, that's deep.
It is the place where people go when they feel like they've been betrayed by civilization, who don't share the way they think, who look at things that maybe I was meant to be born 400 years earlier, where the way I think was the norm as opposed to now.
Yep. Yep, I get it. That was deep. That was true and deep.
Not too deep, because I get scared of heights.
I didn't quite get it at first, but I was just having a bit of a blonde moment. Okay, any more questions, folks?
We want you to have some of your weekend. We understand that Queensland's closed down because one person has COVID.
Yep. Just do what you got to do, folks.
Do what you got to do, be what you want to be, yeah.
I'm so glad you sang that, because Emma was worried about you before because you missed a chance to sing some song lyrics.
Emma's one of our favourites.
Yeah, Emma's great. And Oliver Brooks has said, hey, Kaz, any tips for the packing list for Kapooka?
If it's not on the list, then I would say take writing paper for your grandma and grandpa and write them goddamn letters with prepaid envelopes. Write them a letter. My grandma framed the letter that I sent her from overseas.
They're really important. They're treasured by families. I can tell you that much for sure.
Absolutely. Take some baby wipes. They're going to be essential. Okay, I would say take photos of family, and your dog, etc., to put them on the wall to make you look like a human when instructors come past and check it out. I would say take some lollies in your bag of Chicos, Minties, whatever. Put them in your esh bag, your civilian bag that will get taken off you as soon as you get to Kapooka, the school of the Australian soldier, the home of the Australian soldier. I would say take some clothes that aren't going to be embarrassing, because you'll have photos with your friends, and 10 years later, the clothes that are cool today might not be cool then.
Yeah.
No, what are the shirts that used to be really cool? Tommy Hilfiger. Now you look at those and you go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Did that come attached to a perfume bottle,
Okay, really, back in our day, the hair was more than anything that you look back on and cringe.
The only aftershave a man should ever wear is sweat.
Oh, no, that's not true. Fahrenheit by Christian Dior's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, okay, let's smell like a lawyer.
No, it's actually really nice. Like, it makes me go weak at the knees. As soon as I get a waft of it, I know it instantly. It's my favourite.
A kick in the balls makes me go weak at the knees.
Well, I don't have
Or when I see a menu as a French menu and I know there's not one thing on there I want, or getting told that tubes are now gone forever, that made me go weak at the knees. Getting told that my daughter is not my own.
Oh, come on, that's never happened.
That's never happened.
Look at her, she looks just like you.
Yeah, my friends say it sometimes. There's no way she's yours.
Oh, get out of town. Yeah, but you look good as a girl.
My legs do. You know, sometimes my legs are so chicken leg that I've made vegans hungry.
What? Okay, here's a question. Brown Mark has asked, is being late actually a crime in the army?
Absolutely it is. And if you're going to call yourself brown mark, you might as well call yourself fart stain. You know, rip dirty undies, brown mark. Look, I'll let you know. But it's a good question because people think I'm joking when I say that. It's absolutely a big deal. I'm going to explain something quickly. When you go to work in the day, we've got a thing called absent from place of parade, and we've got AWOL, which is AWOL, which is absent without leave. Now, let's just say that we start every day at 7:20. You have to be at work with a 10-minute fudge factor to be there by 7:30 when you form up on parade, where the platoon sergeant comes out. Someone like myself calls the roll. No, he actually calls your names out. And if your name is not out, by the time I call it, take into account that you actually should have been there at 7:20, you've almost lost any chance you have of ever getting back in time. From there, I'm going to go and look at section commanders. Where's that dickhead? And they'd better have an answer for me, you know? And if they've got an answer, he's at the dentist. Really? You better not be lying to me because that's an offence as well. If you were late at all, you can end up getting you can lose a weekend, a whole weekend for being 5 minutes late. Habitually, you can end up at DFCE, which is the military jail, or you can end up in an administrational discharge and get kicked out of the army just for being late to work multiple times. Everything about our role is about, if I tell you that I am going to be there, point A, at this time, I will be there, and I will be there early. And that is non-negotiable.
Yeah. And I think maybe also touching on that is, you've mentioned it before, is if you're crook in the morning, if you feel sick, you still have to go to work. There's no getting your missus to ring in for you.
Could not give a fuck if you vomited all over your baby. I'm going to be, nope, I'll come and visit you at the hospital. No matter how sick you are.
You go to the hospital.
Yep. Unless you're in hospital, no, don't care.
Yeah, exactly. You have to rock up at work, then they'll send you to, you know.
So a good point about this is to remember that if you're in the civilian industry right now and people are late all the time, just remember it's actually impossible to be late unless your managerial skills, your self-managing skills are not on point. Let's give you a reprieve there. There's a massive difference in you're in Sydney or you're in Melbourne, where something outside your control, you can be like, well, I've been sitting here for an hour in traffic. There's nothing I can do. Okay, I get that. So what would happen is the expectation of forgiveness would be, if I got a phone call half an hour early, going, I am stuck in traffic. And I'm going, okay, what's going on? All right, this is what's happening. Okay, let us know when you get here. But you can't cry traffic when you turn up late with mum's spaghetti on your shirt already, you know, looking like you've just come from the piss. If you ring up early and say, I'm going to be late because of this, I'm going, well, that's without a doubt. You know, you rang me. You knew you were going to be late because of the circumstance. I get that. But it shouldn't be. It's like if you hurt someone as a soldier and then go, oh, it's because of PTSD that's undiagnosed. You're going, so now you've got PTSD because it can keep you out of jail? Or have you got PTSD because that was the fact? then you're leaving a referee's call, a bit of innuendo in the street, so to speak. You ask for forgiveness before the crime is committed. Otherwise, people are going to think that was a cop-out. Does that make sense?
Yep, that does make sense.
Lauren was an employer. She knows what it's like to have people turn up late and turn up with an excuse, which she doesn't tolerate.
Yeah, exactly. Time is money and the money is mine if I'm the boss.
Yep. Did you know that about Lauren?
Yep.
That she was the head of the pack? Leader of the pack.
Yep.
Spoke directly to the highest ranked bikies. I will not have that happen in my establishment.
Yep. It can be a hard job running a tattoo shop. It's a bit like running a pirate ship.
Gar.
Yar. Yeah, exactly.
How do you spell gar?
Gar. Yeah, I don't know. Is it R or is it gar?
I don't know.
Maybe different pirates from different places say it differently. Okay. Where are we up to?
Hey, shit. Sorry. The promotion for Jay Hayes.
Yeah, what I was just going to say. What the heck?
Corey Gray just sent me a Viagra donation. Keep it up.
You should have gone to Specsavers. It was Connor.
Okay. Connor. Sorry, that's proof. Mate, thank you very much for your hefty donation. That's more than what my dog can eat in a meal. And for those that don't know, that Achilles looks like he could be on the mend. For those that didn't know, my little puppy was he was a mess for the last 24 hours. I was actually getting really concerned. But he's back on the mend. The photo that I've put on the community section of, which is the reason why I wasn't on last night, I got to tell you, I had my soul was hurting watching that little boy in pain.
Yeah.
Pet barn. I don't know what it was in their food, but it didn't go well with my dog. So, once again, if we can get 20 thumbs on the screen right now from different people, of course, and not all from Jay Hayes, Jay Hayes gets promoted. 20 different people put a hand of colour or whatever thumb. You know, I promise Ivan Milat will not come and get you if you do it. Jay Hayes gets promoted. There we go. That's one. Lauren, no, you're only classed as one, Lauren.
Damn it. Look, there's some more. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It has been forever since we've promoted someone. Luke had a handful of M&Ms there. Look at him.
8,
JJ,
9,
Submarine, Leo Wanker.
10, 11.
Shit.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Wadey, Wadey had the most racist hand of all. Look at that. Look at that white supremacy hand there.
Inclusive. 23,
Okay.
24, 25.
You're all here. You have stayed on. Everyone else looks like they've had their hand in the toilet. Look at him. Dave. Fake news. Okay, that's it. You're here. You've seen it all. Jay Hayes has just been promoted to moderator.
Yeah, awesome. About time, really. He's really great support.
And that came down to you guys right now. Well done, Jay Hayes. You've been part of the family.
Yeah,
He's been West Side. He's in Perth, the other side of Australia. We could call it South America, South Africa if you want, or England, or Western Australia.
Yeah, that's right. He's a sand groper now.
Has his name turned blue yet?
Let's say something, Jay.
Say something, I'm giving up on you. Let's see it. Guys and gals, if this is your first time here, you got to remember, you might go, tongue in cheek, okay, it's another YouTube channel. But you need to remember, this is your YouTube channel. This is the channel that is here that gives you somewhere to speak, somewhere to be, someone that gives you freedom of speech, which is a topic at the moment I don't want to really talk about because it's something that's disappearing really, really quickly.
Better we just steer away from that.
Yeah. Miss Ninja. There we go. It is blue, Timmy. Jay Hayes. Look at him. It's like he's just put on Sunday's best.
West Side. Yeah, no, good on him because, really, I wouldn't spot half the Muppets in chat if it wasn't for Jay pointing them out to me.
And look, the reason why Jay wasn't a moderator before now was because I honestly thought he just really enjoyed, just having, just free balling in chat. Ollie, what do we got?
That's a new member, Olmal Oyet, who has an enlistment date coming up.
Awesome.
Yep.
Tomorrow, I want to see your comment in the video about what your enlistment date is here, mate. Because this is all about you realising you're not by yourself. This is you actually seeing the faces, seeing the names, and understanding. And last year, it worked awesome. We had one platoon last year that had 20 people from our channel, which meant 33 1/3% of our channel, of that platoon actually came from our channel. If we could get 100% from this channel, this is not a hard bow string to draw. I would say to the government, if they gave me the ability to talk to everyone that was going to the school, the recruit instructors, to Kapooka, 3 bloody mid-strength beers, look at me, to Kapooka, if I got to speak to every single one of them and have 2 streams with them, I bet you I could bring the failure rate, the quit rate, down by at least 50%. And that would save them millions of dollars over a year, which saves not only the taxpayer, but what it would do would also save these people's lives from a rotating circle of doubting themselves. This is not their fault. We've never been more advanced in our society, so surrounded by comforts and disinformation, that when someone comes to the military, sometimes it can be such a slap in the face that they do not know how to process it. And therefore, instead of rolling with the punches, and then when this occurs, they choose quit. And that's not what I want them to do. I want them to stay. I want them to stay, learn what it's like to get told you're wrong, that you failed, that you haven't cut it. Get retrained, get up, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and you'll be right. It'll be a good thing.
Yep.
And it comes back to that. Things just seem so bloody daunting when you've been fed your whole life out of a silver spoon or your mother or father's hand on your shoulder fighting your battles for you. But this is your fight now.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're not alone, are they, Lauren?
No, absolutely not alone. Never will be again.
I take over from your parents that haven't served and let you know, with your parents' assistance, as the realm of responsibility is taken from them, then I give you a softer landing into what's going to be the rest of your life. I don't have a script. I couldn't write these out. It has to come from the heart, and I believe in what I say. I'm probably different to anyone you've ever met. But what I do love is the fact that I joined the military for the right reason. I was born on Anzac Day and my daughter was born on Remembrance Day. My dad was a Vietnam veteran and I was brought up by veterans. And I was brought up in bloody military villages. And I can tell you now, when people say it doesn't give you any qualifications, it gives you qualifications to be a better human. Today, do you mind if I say, Carl, this one put tears in my eyes this morning. Sorry. Jay, you'd like this one too. You remember how I tell you about Patreon, what we do for people all the time. All the time. And we don't film it 99% of the time now because we don't want to steal the reward, the beauty in giving to someone who least expects someone to give to them at a moment where they felt most vulnerable. But today, what I went through the McDonald's drive-through, one of the ladies said, "Don't let that guy go." And I was like, what's going on? She was a young girl. I told Lauren about this today. I always tell Lauren when we've done something nice for people.
Really great. I love this one.
And
this choked me up.
I can feel it in my heart now.
Yeah.
The lady was just there for ages. Young girl. Those people that don't give a shit about boomers. And she finds something, and it was on Facebook, and a friend goes, no, you got to press the read me so he can see it. And they held this through, and I couldn't see it properly, just like I can't see the chat properly. And do you know what it was? It was a Facebook admission from a lady and her children that admitted before Christmas that there was something that she'd wanted to buy but couldn't get it because she didn't have the money to give the kids everything because she'd already put everything into their presents while she had basically nothing to show for herself. And then a guy had come from nowhere, that's me on behalf of you, and had said, no. You may not be able to afford that, but I can. We can. And we're going to. And we got her kids to pick the decorations for their tree that will be evergreen. We'll be there every year. And I said to her, we come from a military channel and we go out and we seek ordinary people that stand out from the crowd that clearly have lovely hearts. And we're going to get that from you. They took a photo of me and they put it. She invited me to Christmas too. And I said, no, I can see what's happening here. No, she's going to have 5 kids if I come around. And, yeah, so basically it was all over Facebook about a mystery person that was going around helping people around Penrith. You know, and it's the first time it's caught back up on me. And I tell you, it really made me feel special.
Yeah, no, it's really nice to get that sort of feedback. We're not your average boomers.
Nah, I tell you what, but my little guys hang low, Sweet Chariot. And they are absolutely full from those 3 beers. You might notice I haven't taken a toilet break in 2 hours and 36 minutes.
Yeah, that's because you did a wee before the stream, right?
And I squatted for it. So let's do 2 more questions before we wrap this up and say congratulations to Jay Hayes, who's now in the blue, which makes him not only a Democrat but a sailor.
Yeah, and I'm really glad about that. I've actually got, it's not a question, but it's a couple of statements that I'd like to read. Yeah. Jake Williams Cameron has said, hey Kaz, how are you going, mate?
Good, mate. Good.
Right. Thanks for all the help in your vids. You've been a huge help for me. I'm off on the 8th of February to Kapooka.
The 8th of February. Then tomorrow you need to put that down in the video that we're making just for you so that other people realise that are nervous. They don't need to be because you have got their back. And then what's going to occur is you're going to be part of their section, part of their franchise, part of their brotherhood, even if they're a lady. And no one's allowed to quit on your watch, are they, mate?
No.
No one.
No, exactly.
No quitters on our watch. No one quits from here.
Not an option. You think about it very hard before you attempt something.
Because anything less is a felony. Vanilla Ice.
Okay, and Matthew Barb has said your channel was an awesome preparation when I went through Sarge.
That's awesome, mate. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Shotgun has asked, love your vids. You're an absolute legend. I was wondering about NV2 clearance.
NV2.
I haven't been in Australia for 10 years, so I was wondering if it's still possible.
Well, absolutely. If you were an Australian citizen, it should be fine. It should be fine. Yeah. Yep. Now that you're back to being a resident, yeah, you should be good, mate.
Yeah.
You know, if you have any problems, get in touch with us and we'll sort it out and we'll do it together. Skin the cat together.
Yeah.
Vietnamese kitchen.
Yeah, gosh. And now we've got Connor Gray doing great work. He's our Navy guy answering Navy questions in the chat. Awesome.
Let's put that last one up. You know what it is? He's got excited because we put this up here.
Who's excited?
Connor. A bit of Navy there. And Connor can tell you, I can't start a modern engine on an outboard motor because I haven't done it, really before since I was a kid. But there's somewhere between getting onto a boat where you can go from that point to these guys right here. So skin the cat, one lesson at a time. You've got Connor here to help us.
Yep.
He's the Navy expert here, but Connor probably agrees with me. The one thing I stipulate if you're going to go to Navy is make sure you go to a warship, not a support ship, because you want that to be your franchise. You want to be proud of what you're serving. I'm in love with 2 area. The 2nd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment, 2nd to none. Connor will be in love with his ship. You need something that you become the barnacle of.
And your partners will probably fall in love with whatever you're attached to too, because I happen to love 2RAL.
Yeah.
You know,
Every one of us.
Well,
Not
no,
everyone.
No, well, you know, I wish you all well.
What is the ratio of dickheads?
Yeah, moving right along. Okay. No, you're good, generally. Okay.
No, Isaac, no pictures of me on your lockers there, young mate.
Yeah, I think Fee was going to do that.
Yeah. It's
She's a lady. She could do it. She could get away with it.
I remember a guy in 2RAR. I'm not going to say his name, and his wife was beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, all us 2RAR ladies were.
Yeah, but he had pictures of her with nothing on all through his locker.
Yeah.
And because I was a gentleman, I didn't look at those photos once. And then he tells me later on, he's going, she thought you were cute as buggery. We were swingers. You just didn't get the hint. And I went, I was single the whole time. I wouldn't look at his locker.
Yeah.
So he was willing to pay for the bills, pay for the nagging, pay the rent and the car. All I had to do was come in and go, I'm a man. I'm a man. And then walk out the door. Dave Penson from Vietnam. For those that don't know, Dave Penson is the senior rank that we've ever had in this chat from the NCO scheme. Dave Penson, can we get some thumbs up here right now, despite the fact that guy's having a goddamn better life than us? He is in a street in Vietnam that cars cannot go down. He cannot understand the language, so everyone sounds like they're angry at him, where he can go and get street food. He can live down there listening to the music. He's on a continual tour of Nam. You know, what a great guy, and he done all of his time serving Australia. So this guy's getting the just rewards in a land with almost no rules other than culturally don't make someone else's life hard and you'll be fine. What a legend. Good on you, Dave. Good on you. And Happy New Year to you, mate. And thank you for your service.
Indeed. Yeah. Good night, Connor. Love to your missus, who I believe is also in the Navy.
You can say that. I can't say that. I can't say, hey, love to your missus.
Why not?
That'd be naughty. You know, and if you're in the Navy and you say that your missus, his name is Samantha, I know that's code for Jake.
Come on now.
No, Connor, I am sure that Connor has enough army jokes that he could come back and tease us too.
Got a great sense of humour. Connor's great.
He is. Yeah. And do you know what's awesome, Connor? It seems like not every stream, but about every 2 streams, a new mini celebrity comes onto the stream. Every 2 streams or so, a new little celebrity sneaks on, and you don't notice them until the 3rd and 4th. And then all of a sudden the names stick. They're here all the time. And before you know it, you're just part of the furniture. You're part of the family. And that's what you should aim at, team.
Exactly. Connor said she's right there beside him. They're having a brandy, watching TV.
Geez, you're showing your age there, mate.
Sounds sophisticated, doesn't it?
Yeah, showing their age.
Yeah. Lovely. Sounds like a lovely evening.
Yeah. Well, team, let's get out of here. We've had a great stream.
Yep.
We've got some great dates coming up, and I don't mean Egyptian fruit. We've got people that are going to join the military literally on Monday. Hand up, oath or affirmation. Make sure you don't put your hand on that 45-degree tilt, otherwise you're a Nazi.
Yep.
And the rest of your life is about to begin. And I dare say, even those that don't necessarily agree with everything you're doing and going in there, they'll become believers as your actions take over and you start coming home with stories, standing upright, self-respect, knowing not to swear in front of a woman, you know, being humble, you know, looking after others and becoming the best version of yourself. And I'm telling you now, team, I'm proud of you in advance. I don't judge you. I'll give you the pride in advance until you prove otherwise. And once you prove otherwise, I've got no problem. I don't pull punches when I tell people if they're a dickhead. So I'm proud of you in advance. And you know what? We need you on that wall.
Yeah,
we do.
Too. Yeah. I'm proud of you all. And don't forget to pop your name down in the comments of the video that Kaz is putting out tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yeah, I am putting that out tomorrow, and that's when we need the dates. If you haven't got a date yet, please don't put it in there. Don't congest it. But also have the respect of actually looking through the other comments, not mine, not just mine, and seeing who else has a date that corresponds with yours. And then I put it into the book, and then every month as we go into streams, I will read out who our January intake is, who our February intake is, who's 11 platoon, who's 23 platoon.
Yep. And give them, send them out good vibes, prayers, spin a bill, whatever you do.
We're feeling some good vibrations.
Yeah, exactly. Because they are part of our family, and we are dead proud of them all, and we wish them all the best. And they've done the hard work. Hopefully, they've done enough, and don't quit.
Don't quit. Tasmanian devil. He just, like he said, long live Coca-Cola. It's the little things that keep us on. If that guy quits there, what happens to her?
Yeah.
Guys and gals, that's a wrap. Have a great time. Press the like button if you can now. If you haven't seen the video that I put out the last couple of days ago about Kapooka, you can't fail. Watch them. Coming right there. I'm sorry, mate, I can't see your name. My eyes are buttons.
Aditya, I think.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Can we please... I can't go until he tells us a bit about himself. Have you subscribed yet, mate? I haven't seen that jump up yet. Can you please let us know a question about yourself?
Yeah.
We can't take a beautiful donation from you that's going to feed either my daughter or my dog without finding out a little bit about yourself, sir.
Coming right at the end of the stream like that.
I'm sorry about our time zones too, mate.
Yeah.
Where you from, mate? Aditya?
Yeah, I think that's...
Ragava.
Aditya, yeah.
Sounds like a good name.
An exotic name.
It is. This is Addie, okay? Addie, welcome. You're home. Finally, we've got you here.
Yeah, we appreciate you. And remember, folks, you all say thank you to us and that, but it's our good pleasure, and we really appreciate you listening to us.
It'd be nothing without you here.
Yeah, exactly. We really, really have the best community on YouTube.
We do. We'd literally be the bear shitting in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. No one would know if we did or not.
Have been watching your videos, so inspiring. Did ya?
From Wagga.
From Wagga Wagga. He lives at Kapooka.
Yeah, there you go.
What a legend. We'll tell you how to get there. Yeah, turn left, go another 500 metres, turn right. Congratulations.
Australian Defence Industries. Right.
Okay, that's awesome, mate.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for your trust. Thank you very much for coming here. Thank you very much for donating your time, shekels, sesterces, and your sense of humour, and understand that, without you guys, without us, what else would we be doing today? It's got so many people through COVID. 6'3" Yankee, you're the sniper, one shot.
Yeah.
I was going to say something else then.
Yeah, come on now.
Phoenix Knight. Okay, guys, stop the donations. We've got to get out of here.
We do. Thanks, Phoenix Knight.
What's he saying? I can't see.
Is it realistic to aspire to get into a combat role at 34 plus, or a bit of a pipe dream? How to support roles end up training with SF? Cheers.
Okay, Phoenix Knight, and I love your name too, by the way. It sounds like a mission.
Yeah. If anyone can rise from the ashes, he can.
This is the deal. At 34, you're mature. More mature than a lot of 19-year-olds want to be about. But as long as you understand that you are the rare card in the pack, and you don't have expectations, and you go in there and this is your calling, your dream, it shouldn't be a problem at all. At all. It'll be a bonus.
Yep.
But you just have to acknowledge that you go to them, they don't go to you. Your leadership and wisdom will help them, but don't let it become a burden where they feel like they're being policed by someone in their own rank. That's what I'd say to you. And mate, I am sure there's a story between now where you've followed riches, relationships, expectation, responsibilities and burdens that have put you in that position. And I dare say that the beating heart of ambition inside of you to follow the footsteps of the Anzacs is probably almost deafening. So, mate, I'd say go for it. Until someone says stop, you go for it. Yep.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. It'd be awesome. Okay, guys. I really feel like I can feel a heartbeat in my bladder at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
So
As if we.
let's take it easy. And you know the last thing I'm going to say, because I never sit on Fence's team.
What are you going to say?
God bless Donald Trump, and I hope you're okay, mate. He brought us the vaccine for COVID, and yep. See you later, team. Take it easy. Love yous. Mucho respecto. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Well done, Jay Hayes. I regret nothing.